As the Freetown March spearheads into the city and the demons fall, the people of Ostergal rally together and press the advantage. In the Merchant Quarter, a French Bristow-style business called Gaston's Ghastly Gourmet has its doors flung open and a deep gnome wearing chef's whites dances out covered in demon blood.
No one cooks like Gaston, no one looks like Gaston, no one skewers demons onto sharp hooks like Gaston. And although my art is misunderstood, you've got to admit it tastes good. You've tasted my boulette bolognese, you've loved my displacer surprise, but in demon meat, a tasty treat lies just behind the thigh.
Gaston, you aren't going to serve anyone demonic roadkill.
Oh, come on, officer. Captain. I have a reputation to uphold. You can't expect weird meat to literally drop on my doorstep and for me not to innovate.
You can innovate by killing them. You don't seem to struggle with that. I'm pretty sure I don't need to consult section 1.34 of the Imperial Food and Provisional Code to say that demon carcasses aren't food.
It's meat and it's fresh. What's the issue?
Damn it, man, don't you ever learn? It's like the issue with the Shalgan fin soup.
An award-worthy dish, in my opinion.
The Sahugan declared a blood war on the city. We had to put guards out on the fishing vessels. Didn't they curse you as well?
Oh, I got cream for that, didn't I?
The only amusing part was the walk, or should I say waddle. Look, I don't have time for this. Let me make it easy. Gaston Grimm of Ostergold. I, Captain Beryl Boggs, in the name of the Great Protector Bahamut and the allied gods, hereby compel you into the deputation. You will, until the next dawn, set out in defence of the city, or suffer the god's wrath by curse.
A symbol appears in Gaston's palm.
Fine. I'll be right there. No one drinks like Gaston. No one thinks like Gaston. Or they might just end up in the clink with Gaston. If I have to fight for the common good. You can bet someone's life I'll find food!
Oh.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Chaotic Neutral Games. I'm hoping you liked my little song debut to start off with. The ideas you get when you're sleep deprived and on a bus. But anyway, welcome to 2020, and yeah, we have an interesting episode to start off on. After letting the people of Freetown into the city of Ostergald, our people, the Benefactor Party, name pending, have been walking with the Freetown March as the people of Freetown start to defeat the demons that are being evolved and adapted by this mysterious being called the Architect, with nothing more than the fact that they are from all different walks of life, with the individuality that they have. And between them all, and led by the crazed Goliath bard, Beat Babadoom, they pierce into the city and start to take back the streets. As the people of Ostergald are seeing this happen, they spill out into the streets themselves. And instead of being the university, the palace guard, the city guard, the green organization, the primary, we mentioned Yana Whitehawk at the in the last episode.
The MILF.
They are themselves. They are individuals just doing what occurs to them, expressing themselves in violent ways. But it's Ostergeld. What else do you expect? And as this is happening, people are breaking out all over the city and enacting their own particular personality and style, as you saw from the skit that we just played, and starting to converge to an area near Ostergald University. Now, you've been told it's not the university itself, it's just off the university. It's in that area. And you have progressed, you've met various people along the way. All the various people of Ostergald that you have met, developed friendships with, flirted and slept with in some cases, received very questionable fashion from in other cases, and the march goes on. But now, as you meet up with Noki, your tavern keep, who is alive and, well, kind of well. He was a little beat up when you met him. Although he was clearly withered enough to use a bunch of Magi Domestica to boil some flying demons. You are in the University District, just at the end of the Merchant District, about 2 blocks over from Gaston. I think you're probably safe from his questionable ways. And at this point, the march has turned into a carnival. They have defeated the demons to the point where they outnumber them in great numbers. So whenever people are feeling tired, they're going into the center of the crowd, and those who are more refreshed and ready to have another go towards the side of the crowd. And now this procession, this march, this carnival is like a living, breathing organism of its own. Ahead of you is a building that has the look of a kind of rotunda. And for some of you, you've never been there before. I would say that Cora probably has never been there before. She may went past it, went, yeah, it's a weird building with a dome on top. Aiden probably would not have been interested in it. Similar for Eclipse. And I would say the only 2 people who would have really stood much interest in it would have been Farewell Barebones, a constant scholar, and our sorceress, Glory Tezcatl. This is, I guess it's the equivalent of a planetarium. Inside this building is effectively an observatory that looks out into the heavens and is used for divination. Now, this is different to an oraculum. You've been into an oraculum now, and that was the chamber with the mirrors, which you guys had some pretty harrowing experiences in there. This instead is one where, as you look through the enchanted ceiling, the blue sky falls away, there are no clouds, the sun can't be seen, and instead you look directly at the stars. And the mystic magics behind the stars and space and the whole kind of what happens if you put a D&D party in orbit. This is just used to be able to look out over the world and do things like far-seeing, looking into the future, looking into people's minds and experiences, so divining the past, things of this nature. It's a research building that's just off the university, and due to its nature, it can't do the whole demi-plane thing that the university itself does. It has to be on this plane of existence, and it has to be concurrent with the current space. As a result, whereas the university is kind of folded up, it's a huge university folded up into a very small space. It still looks ornate, but it doesn't look the size that it is. This is actually quite an impressive building. And the only thing I can liken it to in London, for example, is the Old Bailey. So again, that's got a big dome top on it. And as you start getting close there, you can see that this thing is being scaled by some of the demons. I mentioned before that the architect had mutated some of the demons to be able to climb up the cathedral and tried to climb over the walls of the city. You can see that there are these flying demons, a whole flock of them perched on top. The climbing demons are scaling all over it like ants over a hill. And at the base of it, you can see this thick standing army. At the front seems to be the shovelers, the thick-skinned, almost stone-like creatures that look like an inverted D4 almost, like a pyramid with legs. Their strange, flat, tusked mouths at the front, used to scoop up bodies to gather biological material for the architect. You can see the grey-skinned and now varied form because of the Freetown March. As I've stated before, you've got some of them with clubbed hands, you've got some of them with spines, most of them haven't got ears anymore, thanks to Maury Razorback. You've got lots of different combinations where, as their predecessors have suffered under various fates from you all, they're trying to create the perfect form, and they seem to be in a form of flux. Now, considering they come from the Abyss, you expect chaos. But that's the one thing you notice you haven't really had much of at the moment. At this point, I would like Farewell Barebones to do a intelligence roll with proficiency. Because I can't decide which knowledge subject this is. I'm going to say that with all the stuff that he's gathered, that he, and the fact that he is the type of guy to write everything down, I'd like to see what he gets on that roll.
Could I be allowed to guidance myself, or is that cheeky?
This is an active skill. I would let you do it. Yeah.
Thank you. Well, that's not terrible. 22.
22. So, as you're looking at this, you're reminded that chaos, in particular, and this comes from your training as a cleric of the Raven Queen, that chaos has one of two aspects. The first is erraticism, that it's change for no reason. Then there's change that is natural, and it's the reason why you can't really get rid of chaos. The chaos and order in balance is more important than one winning over the other. If you were to have order win over chaos, you would have everything be like the plane of modulus, where everything works in exact lines, and you wouldn't have individuality, and it would be just as bad. The good part of chaos, the good part of change, is change for a reason, cause and effect. And that's what you're seeing here, is that up until now, everything has been cause and effect. If anything, if this creature, if this architect, this being, is coming from the Abyss, he must be one of the most disciplined beings within the Abyss. you know yourself that Tharazun, the chained god, the screaming god, the god of madness, is there in the abyss, literally just screaming and screaming in the chains that the other gods wrapped him in when they threw him into the abyss. And he is effectively the god of the abyss. He is the strongest being there. And even he doesn't have the level of control that the architect seems to have. And at once you start to question whether or not indeed that the architect is a demon. You know that some demons like Orcus are able to follow an agenda, but they are crazed in their own way. Whereas this guy, welcome back, Snipe. Whereas this being doesn't seem to be crazed in his machination. He seems to be very, very structured and just completely against the character of the Abyss. And feel free to use that as you will, Nick. And this is being shown by the fact that you've never seen before demons forming ranks like this calmly. As I say, you've got the shovelers, you've got the inquisitors, those grey-skinned, almost featureless aliens, but now they've got these extra bits and pieces. And you do see that there are a few of the twinned demons, the Geminax, the ones that you fought in the warehouse, standing there,
I don't like
passively
those.
just watching you. And they don't seem to be making the attack. And as Beatba is going ahead like some sort of crazed majorette, he kind of gets to a certain threshold where he realizes he's almost within charging range of the front ranks. And he turns around, still dancing, still smiling, but looking at you guys as if to say, "What now?" Because this is as far as I thought. And you can tell there's a look of, do I call for everyone to charge? Do I what? And he
Faster those things die, the better. So I'd say
So-
charge.
Simon,
Well-
question.
Mm-hmm.
Can you set out for me kind of how they are arranged? And I will be pointed in telling you, is there enough of them within a 30-foot cone at least 60 feet away from
There's a lot, yes. They are rank and file. So if I was to put this onto a grid, I would be filling every square in the grid with a demon. So yes, they are they are gridlocked. They're gridlocked and passive. They are just watching you. And that's the first time.
Remember the thing that they can heal each other, and that Rodrigo hasn't run into the Gaminax before.
Also, how big are they?
Oh, they're human-sized.
Human
They can
size. Gotcha.
change.
Shovelers are large, and so the shovelers are large, kind of like, as I say, they're inverted pyramids with legs, but they kind of have a boar-like feel to them. And the rest of them, the flying ones, which are the Struga, the twinned ones, which are a light grey and dark grey version of themselves, then they're both bifurcated in the middle. The Geminax, they are medium sized, but they take 2 squares because there's 2 of them. And then each of the Inquisitors is the same size as a human.
I will.
They are just there.
Gone.
They are just passively watching.
I will get the party's attention, and I will sort of, whilst it's sort of beginning to slow down and get up. I have a feeling that we might be being invited.
Where? Why? What?
Well,
To meet
Because
our
they want
big bad, of
Fairfax.
course.
They want you. So of course they're going to invite you in.
who's Fairfax?
I don't
Farewell.
know. I don't know why I said that.
Did you get hit in the head?
Are you? Have you been
Farewell just immediately
streams?
drops to like onto his
Drink
knees,
something?
and he's like doing, you know, the bit where someone's got like a concussion and you're doing like the head impact assessment. He's just there going, and follow my pencil.
It's been a weird day. I'm sorry.
We can do the medical examination later. I think right now we got more pressing matters.
Fine.
Yeah, he
Really?
I'm just going to point out that some need to say things, and if she can't use words, then she can't cast. But fair enough.
I'm feeling fine.
Well, it is all or nothing now. Let's drive these guys out of Ostergold!
Well,
Okay.
hold on.
I'm not
That
giving
wasn't
you a
what I
choice.
had in mind, and I imagine that 'cause he's got. I mean, Glory's got what, a 20 charisma, and Farewell's is 7.
Yes.
There's just going to be this crowd that surges
So got a
past.
charge. Wait.
Wait, never mind.
Wait, I've seen a painting like this once.
No, it's gonna be like fucking Monty Python. It's like, attack! Attack! Run away! Run away!
Well, it's either that or it's going to end up like the infamous charge of the Light Brigades, and I'm not sure which one's worse.
Yes.
Oh, dear. So
You're right.
He bravely ran away. He bravely ran away.
the following things happen. So first of all, the a beeper kind of hearing Glory shout, "Let's get them!" Decides to do a series of backflips and large kind of dance moves. And everybody's kind of going, is he charging? Is he going to charge? Is he charging now? And you can tell that he's just taking a second to decide what he wants to do with the charge. He's not really the charging type. He has been dancing non-stop for about half of the city now. And
Yeah.
he, as he starts to cartwheel and backflip, and you can tell he's kind of building up momentum, the world starts to slow for two of you. And that is Cora and Glory.
Oh.
So, as the world slows down, this is actually your familiars using an effect that they can use to talk to you psychically. The world isn't really slowing down. It's just that they are taking a moment to perceive. And you don't know it, but they've done it in unison. Both of the familiars have done it at the same time.
I
And,
also have a familiar, but she's not as smart.
yeah, unfortunately, she hasn't got to know the other familiars yet. And I didn't write it in, so apologies. And Cora, Awen flits onto your shoulder, folds in her little dragonfly wings for a second, leans on your ear and goes, "You know what? I'm pretty sure if you power up that ring of yours, you'll be able to go through that like a bowling." And strangely,
If I powered
as
it?
you slow down, Glory, oddly, you hear this exchange, and as Eowyn says that, your serpent uncoils around your neck. This beautiful, shadowy, snake-like creature comes up and says, "Yes, mistress, and once she makes a hole, I'm pretty sure we can join and make sure they won't come back." And then his eyes flare with purple fire in a suggestion that they've kind of figured this out between them. It's almost like your serpent is winking at you when he has no actual eyes.
EP.
No eyes or eyelids.
No eyes or
He's
eyelids.
just-
something in.
It's just saying the word wink.
Yes.
It says
Yes.
Yeah, it's just like wink.
amazing.
Yeah, in that really creepy, like, demonic voice.
Yeah.
Oi.
Oh god. Oh god. That voice just creeps me out so bad.
He's the best boy. Excuse you.
I will not
He's
excuse
just
myself.
a precious little lawful
Eh,
evil snake.
I can't believe that everything in that sentence was wrong.
Not the fact that he's lawfully evil.
No, you're right.
And you can see as the world is slowed down around you that Beatba is starting to twist in a strange fashion. You've seen him dance quite a lot now. He's done all these backflips and twirls and things, and now he's kind of going down very slowly, as if he's an Olympic sprinter going onto the blocks. And it looks like he's about to go forward as well.
Well,
Okay, so did I understand
do this.
what she meant? Like, because I thought you said parrot, but do you mean just use the rage thing and blast through?
Yeah.
power through
Okay,
it.
sorry, I
Don't
heard
use the
parrot.
Use the parrot.
I'm coldy and deaf. It's all just crazy.
Use
Right.
the parrot, Cora. Use the
Yeah,
parrot.
use the parrot.
The parrot!
Great. Okay, yeah. Cora's gonna see everyone start to run and is kind of from that, but also from the worry that all of these people are about to sort of run, across no man's land into death, kind of thing. Is like, oh shit, got it. Gets her rage on and yeah, does her flying through the wherever she's heading through the door. Oh, I can't. But yeah, she's making
Lori
a hole.
runs as fast as you can in a pair of high heels after Cora so that I can keep that hole open.
It's okay for you to just be behind her. You're going to keep them back once she kind of puts the thing. And this all happens in slow motion, which means for the rest of you, you're like, what the hell? And then you have to catch up. So, although it's not in super slow motion for you, because obviously Cora can only run so fast.
No, damn it,
so
I
you
fly,
watch-
right? I just...
yeah, when you
I can fly
activate it.
60
So
feet,
you watch
yeah,
as
so-
Cora leaps off her bear, runs through the legs of a few people because she wasn't.
Oh
perfectly
yeah,
at the
she has a
front.
bear. I keep forgetting.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Goodness, boy.
Yeah,
Yep, she has a battle bear now.
she has
This
a
is-
bear.
I
that she's
forgot
pulled out of
that.
a bag of tricks. Yeah.
So it's not a permanent bear. It's one that you pull out from the
But
bag
it's
of
always the
tricks.
same bear.
It's a higher bear, yeah. So, yeah, you watch as she leaps off, starts weaving through people's legs, and it's not many people, it's like a few feet, it's like 15 feet between Cora and the front of the procession. She weaves through people's feet, and as she does so, she starts to set ablaze. Her skin, you can see that her clothes are getting brighter, and flames are starting to flicker off the shoulders. And Cora only, when you start running forward, you can feel this thing in the back of your head. You know how sometimes you can feel like you know that somebody's just got off a bed in the next room, or just pulled a chair from a table in the next room, or something like that. It feels like that, but in the back of your head. And as you're running forward and you start to call up all of the emotions of seeing Tara's mother fighting in this crowd, knowing that she's going to be a harm's way if those demons charge. The little boy with the wonky tiefling disguise is here in the crowd, just maybe like no more than 80 foot behind you. You realize how important this is, and the rage becomes easy, and it just flows through you, and the flames start to flicker. You start to charge the ring, and as you do so, this feeling of someone being in the next room in your head is the feeling of somebody lying down on a sofa and going, huh? What? Oh, and standing up and suddenly doing something very urgently. And as you do so, you kind of break through the front of the crowd, and your entire body just goes whoosh into this giant fireball. Giant for you. You're still probably about medium size at this point.
So she just becomes a regular fireball.
Yes.
Your feet leave the floor, and you realize that you can move by sheer will alone. But as you do that, you can see that Beatba, in his sprinting pose, looks to the side and goes, gives you the goofiest smile, And as as you're just about to break ahead of him, you hear him say, "Swook!" And as he does so, the air shimmers around him, and there's this boom behind him, and he rockets forward about 5 feet in front of you, and you, as you're starting to fly, catch up with him. The air around him ripples, and he's getting faster and faster, but so are you. And as he's kind of there running forward, you realize his feet aren't touching the ground anymore, and it's more that he's being pushed by this pressure wave. And he looks at you kind of again from side on. He looks at you and kind of goes and gestures as if to say, "Ladies first." And these two meteors, this fiery tiefling and this strangely
Halfling.
Halfling. This fiery halfling and this Goliath in bright clothing, the silk shirt, the earrings, the patina of sweat over his stage makeup.
Literally the two opposites of the spectrum.
Yep.
Excuse you, Beatba is the best NPC in this entire campaign.
The pants, the bright yellow harem pants, the orange velvet slippers that he's wearing today, and as I say, with the jewelry and all the rest of it, and he just goes and lets you go ahead. And again, this is all happening in a split second. It's a single round, 6 seconds. You watch as this pressure wave, the shimmering pressure wave, kind of goes behind the fireball. And when you hit the first demon, they just go, and they are flying up and kind of cascading through the air. And very quickly, but you do hear it, you hear people go, "Give it to me one more time!" and hits the floor with his fist. As he does so, the street just ripples. And the cobblestones go flying, the floor starts to go, crazy and starts to wave, and he comes out of this pressure wave, which is actually a word of force, and he comes out of the pressure wave, goes into a perfect break roll, 3-point landing, and then just takes a bow. And as he does so, the crowd go mental and charge forward, but not ahead of Glory, who, whilst everybody's just been stunned by this sight, Glory has stepped forward, started to run, as she says, in high-heeled shoes. Her serpent has uncoiled around her body, shot up in the air, and then descended from above straight into her body. She suddenly levitates in the air, these black, shadowy wisps emanating out of her body in every direction, and she flies forward. As some of the demons are picking themselves up, you can see these two Geminics, absolutely featureless, remember. They've just got like a mannequin head, bifurcated down the middle, and they both get up in unison, eerily as well. Every single movement choreographed perfectly the same. They get up using the same method. They rise absolutely perfect, not even an inch difference between them as they rise. And as they do so, Glory, you're trying to get into the strange headspace of this weird, you're not even sure they're a live creature. It could just be some sort of arcane construct, arcane biological construct. And you go, "No, you will fear me." And it becomes an absolute act of will. The shadowy tendrils hit this crowd of demons before you do, and they flee. It's, again, eerily that the Geminics, they turn and flee in perfect synchronicity and start to charge away from the crowd. That gives enough of a dent in these ranks for the Freetowners, for Eclipse, for Farewell, who I'm sure is just about getting over his shock, for Aiden, for the Shackleman, and for the rest of Ostergald who has joined the march to step in. And suddenly it is complete chaos. This calm, orderly ranks that the architect set in place now is a complete furore. The two very large double doors of this observatory are wide open. And throughout the fighting,
Go!
you can hear a member of the Shacklemen go, "We got this, guys! You go on in! With me!" And they charge out into the fray, leaving you guys to walk into the observatory.
Alright.
Yay, let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah, Farewell will just sort of gingerly walk in, just like, excuse me. Come in.
Yeah, I'm just going to lazily walk in as well.
Stay close to Glory and no one will walk close to you because even you guys don't like her aura if I remember right, and you guys are her friends.
Yeah, they get advantage.
To a very loose definition of friends, but yes.
You are Glory's friends, admit it.
No.
You are now.
I have claimed you. You have no choice.
Once you get in through the doors, the fighting very quickly ebbs into silence. These halls are old. Quite possibly one of the first grand buildings to be made in Ostergard. Eclipse, do me an Arcana check.
Why just the stealth kitty? It's an Arcana check.
Because you're not from around here.
Fair.
From around these parts.
I
Okay,
may have
that's not
half
too
grown up
bad.
in a library.
That is not too bad. So a natural 15 plus 4 is 19.
Okay. You learnt your magical craft here in the city. You were a rogue when you left Ostran, and most of the extra tips and tricks and illusions and things like that you learned here in Ostergard. You became an arcane bounty hunter, able to hunt down people from all walks of life, whether they be physically adept or able to bend reality to their will. And in this place, you know that magic is very subdued. It's kept in a form of order. You know that wild mages, for example, wild sorcerers, would struggle here. Magic can be cast, but it sometimes is restricted. You know, for example, that the wards within the building mean that you can't use spells to look through the walls. In fact, the range of most spells is only as far as you can see and you can throw them. Anything that would normally go around the corners, like magic missile, wouldn't. There seems to be a few little rules here by which magic is slightly different. Not so much that it's debilitating, but something that feels very, very different. The reason for that is the building itself is a focal point for the School of Divination. You don't see why there would be some sort of rift. Being able to teleport and so on is, in some cases, transmutation, abjuration, evocation, conjuration. Those schools, depending on your method. But yeah, this seems like an unlikely place to have a rift in the first place. And then it hits you, unless they were using the rift itself to look into another plane of existence. That could be what was a jar, how it was weakened. And maybe that's what he used to get through. But again, that doesn't make sense. Because to be able to make a rift big enough to even get the ooze through, they would have had to do the magical experimentation that you saw under the streets of Ostergard in the Institute. This place doesn't make sense. You keep walking through and you come across the first set of dead bodies. people came into this large and very strong, very thickly built building. Most of the walls are double thick, more out of decorative and legacy purposes rather than for any particular reason. But they thought it was a good place to hide, and they were right. You know, this place would be able to survive quite a heavy siege, even magically, thanks to the enchantments and the wards that are contained within. And yet, these people came in here, and you can see they're dead. And there's not a mark on them. None of the bites and scratches that you would get from an Inquisitor. Certainly none of the huge kind of crushing, biting, bone-splitting bites of the Shovelers. Well, you didn't really kind of spend much time figuring out what the Germanax can do. You're pretty sure.
Well, I did have personal experience of their psychic damage, so...
Yes, you did. And when you flip over one of the bodies, you do see that there's a trickle of blood coming out of one of the nostrils. For another one, it's a trickle of blood ear. Other than that, don't see any reason why they should be dead. There's none of the rictus that you would see on the face for someone dying of psychic damage. Someone dying of psychic damage is usually screaming and writhing on the floor. These look like they died peacefully, I guess.
Farewell.
Farewell.
Yeah. Sorry? Yeah?
Please
These
look
guys,
at
notice
that
that
when
Ferris-
you're
weird.
Farewell's actually not been looking. He's staring back out the door at the fight. So he's had his whole back to you whole this time. Sorry?
Take a
we
look
got-
at these.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I come over and start having a prod and a look.
Okay. You take a look, and as far as you're aware, yeah, these guys look like they died in their sleep. You think maybe from like a brain embolism or something like that. Looking at the type of symptoms that they have, you open the eyes of one or two of them. A couple of them have bloodshot eyes, but not all of them. Doesn't seem to be that they died in a particularly violent way. Give me a medicine check.
Okie dokie. Terrible. A dirty 20.
Dirty 20. How's that terrible?
Because
Fuck you, Nick.
I only rolled an 11 on the dice, and if I rolled anything higher than that with a +9 in medicine, it would have been astronomically higher. So an 11 dice roll is not bad.
I
hate you.
take a look, and you can see, Farewell, that some of these bodies seem to have died in different... they're in different stages of death. You try to do a time of death on a few of them, just with a few tricks that you know, and you can see that some of them are well into Rictus, some of them have just started, one of them's still floppy, one of them looks like it's been dead for weeks. Just the slightest signs of, well, maybe not weeks, maybe a week. Just the start of rotting.
As Farewell is examining the bodies, I come in and it's like, hang on, let me try something. Are we in a hurry, or because I do need some time?
Slight hurry, but
How
I
much time
don't
is it?
want whatever
How
happened to them happening to us.
Fair.
How long do you need, Aiden?
10 minutes.
Yeah, I think Beatbeer can handle 10 minutes.
Okay. So
Get started, and if anything happens, we
Right.
will.
So, Simon, I want to use one of my Blood Hunter features, Grim Psychometry. I can choose 10 minutes to meditate on an object to discern vague details regarding any lingering evil or wicked past surrounding it, and I want to use that on the bodies.
Ooh,
That is a good
Absolutely.
one.
that's
Okay.
a good plan.
So,
I had to do a wisdom ability check, and based on the result, that's when you reveal obscure information about dark events that may have previously surrounded the bodies.
sure. I will cover the 10 minutes very quickly then, the battle outside calms down, and suddenly you hear the cheer of a battle won. You can see just outside of the doors are still wide open, that there are flintlocks that have been held into the air and fired in celebration. You can see that there are guards now, including a half hobgoblin captain who is swearing people into the deputation and sending them down the streets in squads. I say squads, there are around about 50 people at a time to go and mop up around the city. And then you see something around about, I'll say 7 minutes in. The battle takes a while, especially kind of, extra demons come in from the side streets and things. So it's a little bit of a siege. And, although 7 minutes is a hell of a long time in
Yeah.
that's, a lot. You see something that's disturbing at the end, though. At 7 minutes, you watch as Beatba, still looking energetic, his shirt is torn dramatically, because why not? He has got a slight cut on his head, and he seems to be holding a broken wine bottle. And he throws the wine bottle to one side, kind of wipes away some blood on his lip, walks up to the double doors to join you, and as he crosses the threshold of the double doors, he disappears.
Shit.
I
Shit,
run
shit,
over
shit,
to
shit.
where he was.
So there's like a shimmer, that when he steps in, there's a shimmer, and he carries on walking absolutely fine. He's just about to say something. You can tell he's just about to say something, and he just disappears in a slight shimmer, like a heat shimmer.
Now that is interesting. Can I roll Arcana to know if I know any type of spells that would result in us being trapped in here / opening rifts to send people to other planes?
Yeah,
In the middle of a fucking doorway? Ooh,
Yeah,
that's
go
a
for
good
it.
roll. That's a good first roll of the night.
My result was 22, by the way, for the...
Cool.
Yeah.
In 3 minutes, you will have your result.
Cool.
Wait, I need to switch to glory. There we go.
Battles don't last 10 minutes, so I was like, okay, I can order this in the right way. But it'll be worth the wait.
24!
Oh my
24.
god.
He walks up and there's something that disturbs you, Glory.
Mhm.
You have studied teleportation. In fact, you can now do teleportation.
Yes.
You studied the teleport spell, teleportation spell. You've seen the banishment spell done many times. You know when someone crosses the planes or crosses through the physical plane into another part of the physical plane. That did not just happen.
Some form of illusion?
But there's a
I'm
good-
feeling
is there a
around
chance
where he
he's
was.
on this plane?
I'm trying to sort of see if he's still there but invisible. Just so you know.
Okay.
Oh.
As you run up to the place where he was, the double doors themselves, you run up to the double doors and hit what seems to be an invisible wall.
Yeah, we're trapped. They got us right where they wanted.
We're not trapped. Well, I could try dispelling it.
No. I think
we need. I think it's better we try to find what we're here for to begin with.
Yes,
before we
let's
start
find a
trying to
rift.
get-
If nothing else, I have a feeling there'll be a show waiting for us. Aiden, you got something yet?
Aiden can't reply because throughout this whole 10 minutes, Aiden has been cradling the head of this corpse in his hands. Not exactly kind of reverently, just practically. I think I might be right in saying that Aiden would just be doing it. And Aiden's eyes, where they normally have regular pupils, Aiden's eyes have gone into white orbs, very lightly glowing. and as you're there, kind of trying to figure all this out, your vision comes to an end. So over the last 10 minutes, you have been focusing, kind of transcending like a shaman would do, and because it's a ritual, kind of how it works.
Mhm.
And then all of a sudden, you go on this vision trip. So you see, you confirm certain things that I've said before. A lot of citizens who were living nearby ran in, and you can see that they are mostly well-to-do folk. Some of them scholars. Some of the scholars, the way that they're acting, saying, "Oh, this way, just down here, just down here. Yep, it's best in the center. The center's got best protections. Yep. It's okay. Our powers work there better as well. It's okay. We've got some tricks. We'll be able to. Yeah. We can make us all invisible. It's fine. We should be able to last out the siege." And people are talking about teleportation and things. So some of the people work there as well. You also see a family run in. You can see that the guy is a. Do me a medicine check.
Natural one.
He's a very strange race. You're not quite sure which race he is.
Mhm.
And he's coming in, pushing ahead of him in a protective way, so that he can cover the rear. He seems to be guiding in his wife, who's clutching this baby to her chest, and everybody's just trying to get away from it all. And they all go in, and the last few stragglers are. You recognize one of them as the guy whose head you're currently cradling. And one of them says, "Look, we know some battle magic, and we can close the doors, but if they come in, then we don't mind being the first line of defense. Give you some time to get a ritual together, yeah? And then we can just, run in and teleport away. How long will it take?" And he goes, "Well, it's complicated. This place has wards. We'd have to align the teleportation through the wards, but we work here. It's okay. We should be able to do it. Just we're going to need time. Thankfully, this building should give us time." And you can tell that their idea is just to get the hell out of here, to teleport from the center. The person who said we'll be able to attune runs in and says, "Watch the doors. They should hold, but watch the doors." He runs down the corridor you're currently in, and around the corner to what you somehow know because you're following all of those who have died here, is a large chamber, the vision chamber itself, which you know is in the shape of an amphitheater. And as the guy runs around the corner, the organizer runs around the corner, you are still following the guy whose head you're cradling. He's pulled out a wand. It's not a very good wand, but, he's kind of practicing his spells, ready to be able to defend and get shields up and things. And there's an exclamation, a "what the?" And you just hear this gentle voice go, "Yes." And then they all just fall to the floor. And this trickle of blood comes out of the nose of the guy that you're currently cradling, and everybody dropped at the same time.
I come out of my vision. I shake it off. Fuck. Okay. Don't want to get used to that. Okay. So they were running away. They were planning on escaping through a teleportation circle. Didn't work. And when they got to the... what was the building again that you said there was like an amphitheater?
It's just the center of this building. So the center of this observation... it's an observatory. But instead of having a telescope, they use magic.
Right.
So the center of this building, the core of this building,
Mhm.
is a round amphitheater that looks at the enchanted dome above.
Mm-hmm. When they got to the center, a voice simply said "fall," and they all dropped dead.
Oh.
A single word.
A
That-
single word. Fall
That
and
is-
everyone die.
Powerful magic.
Yeah. Without metagaming too much, Simon, would I be aware of any high-powered magic that could potentially utter a single word, kill a room full of people?
I was gonna
A
ask a similar
powerful
thing.
word, but you might
a
say.
powerful word
powerful
A
I
word
was-
of power.
that may be possible of killing an entire room
Yes.
of people.
I was
He
gonna
might
ask
even
the same
said
thing because
kill.
considering the family Glory has grown up to, I am sure she has seen some very powerful feats of destructive magic, so to say.
While Fowl is doing that, Eclipse is gonna turn to Glory and say, Glory, do you think when they were trying to escape through the wards that they gave the architect a way in?
Shouldn't not if they were the first group to do it, because he didn't even start the ritual, but of course not. They weren't the first ones. Someone already broke the wards in the middle.
Okay,
Right.
so in answer to your questions, Nick, it's not metagaming. This is a famous spell. You know that at the top level of either Arcana or Faith, at the top of Faith, you can speak with the word of God, your God, the gods, whatever, and fundamentally change reality as a sheer act of will. Glory, you have heard of people doing this. You only heard of 2 people doing this, and that is your Aunt Ideal.
Yep.
Yeah. She is the only one of your family who has ever done this, where she has not so much said, but bellowed the name, and someone just fell down and died.
Yep. That sounds like Aunt Ideal.
Also grandfather.
Without question.
Yeah. You're not sure if he taught it to her, or Tiamat taught it to her.
Either way,
but-
it is a badass move reserved for badass people.
I wouldn't call it much badass as extremely cruel, but I guess there's no time for me to be pedantic, I guess.
Yeah. And, yeah.
How do we protect
Oh.
against it?
Don't hear it, is what I gathered.
Does anyone have a
then-
knitting needle?
Even then, it might still
I
work.
can-
They change
Yeah.
reality. It doesn't matter if you hear it.
Yeah. Honest answer.
I'm not even going to get you to roll. That is correct, Glory.
Yeah. Honest answer. Nothing we have.
Yeah.
Nothing. Jupiter
Question, Simon. Actually, good. While we're discussing this, does the voice that uttered, the word, sound familiar, even vaguely? Like, have I heard it somewhere before, or have we heard it somewhere before? Like, have I heard it after I joined the Green Organization?
No. No, you
No.
haven't.
Okay.
Yeah, pertinent question, actually. That was, yeah. You can confirm from your memory that you haven't, heard that voice
Okay.
before.
Gotcha.
Seems, without accent, slightly sophisticated.
I suggest
Yeah.
caution. Some guile from Clip. And a shit ton of luck. And
Yeah.
we read that.
I-
Let's not go looking.
Everyone
for
roll a
fight.
d20.
Oh,
Oh,
fuck
Oh
it.
no!
I was just about to say.
Congratulations.
Oh, come
Brand
on!
new dice. Let's see what it does.
Oh,
Okay, at least it was a high roll.
oh no, that's terrible.
Oh, I shouldn't have rolled the new die.
I don't know what the DC is, but I'm not sure I passed it.
You know what?
Um,
It's better if you don't ask.
9 for farewell.
Okay, farewell. You suddenly feel a little more spry. You feel
Whew, a little more. Yeah, you feel a bit better. Whew. Maybe it's just that you'd been fighting all this time, and now you're in here and investigating. It just feels a little more familiar. Have you lost any hit points?
No, I'm actually all topped up.
In that case, gain a level 1 spell slot.
Okay, I'll take that.
This is suspicious. I don't trust
This is so suspicious.
We're about to do a
Suspicious.
big
I
fight.
don't
we're all
trust
gonna
like
die.
that.
I don't trust like no, I don't trust like that.
Kate,
This is what we call a boss fountain.
what was your result?
Oh wow, I rolled a 3.
Fuck.
Me.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's on his table? Oh, mighty
Okay.
table of doom, tell us what you prophesize.
Kate, suddenly you come over kind of warm. You know, like how you feel when you've just woken up, and you know the duvet's nice and warm, and yeah, you're
like that
feeling.
feeling.
You're feeling like you've just woken up. You're still in bed. You've yet to get out of bed, and yeah, you're feeling pretty good actually. Have you lost any hit points?
Yeah, I'm on 67 out of 79.
Well, you're on 79 now.
I wish that was
Ooh.
69.
Oh no.
My hit
Nice.
points are 69, by the way.
Nice!
Nice.
I don't want to level up because I won't keep that. Because I'm like, I look at it every time and go,
You can
Damn.
say 69, dude. It's okay. I permit. Yeah, and this is where Simon has to remember potentially sessions from quite far back. That. Yeah, you feel good, Cora. You feel sated.
Oh god.
I fear.
Glory.
Yes, I rolled a 13.
13. Okay. You feel a little more tired. You feel a bit tired.
Fuck.
You know, it's been a long day, but strangely, you know, you feel confident. You feel like, yeah.
I'm suddenly nervous.
You kind of.
Me too.
You've caught up. You've kind of caught up with what's going on around you. You don't feel like you're running behind everything. You feel like you're observing everything correctly. Rodrigo.
18?
18. Man, you need a drink. Damn, you need a drink. What the fuck, man? You know, 24 hours ago, you were in the sea. You were knee deep in the actual sea, being picked up by smelly pirates. It's... Damn! You're so tired. And what was it about using that ability? I mean, that ability just really took it out of you. Just so bad. So bad. You've just... Oh. Yeah. Fuck.
Oh boy.
Just done with this day. You're done with it.
Yeah, you're right.
Eclipse.
True 20.
You were so happy over it.
And you guys watch as Eclipse just passes out on the floor.
Oh my god!
It's
better dying.
no, she
No,
She-
you've
she's
just said power word death, kill is being used here, and
Okay.
I just watched a tabaxi fall
Okay.
over. I'm like, ah!
you stabilize the catnapping cat. But you watch it. As she hits the floor, her legs curl up, her tail curls around her, and she's kitty sleeping on the floor. She's out.
Oh, so this is his plan. He's trying to toy with us.
It worked. It worked.
Pick her up and let's go.
I would like everybody who's not the cat to make either perception checks or medicine checks, your choice.
Perception? Oh, it's the same
Technically,
thing.
Actually, medicine is better for me, believe it or not.
I actually
21!
Okay, I'll go through each of you.
24.
I assume medicine?
Yes, medicine. Yeah.
Okay.
Motherfucker.
I think he's going to do well. Cora?
16.
On perception?
They're both a +3, so...
I need you to choose.
I think I will choose perception. I feel that's a Cora thing.
Okay. And Glory, what did you get your 21 on?
Perception.
Okay. And Rodrigo?
11 on either, because it's the same modifier for both.
Okay. Sure. So,
I'm gonna say perception. I think it's more accurate for me, perception.
unfortunately, yeah, Rodrigo, you don't see shit. Man, you're so tired. So tired. But, yeah, both of Cora and Glory, you freak the fuck out as you watch some of the dead bodies move. It's subtle, but they definitely moved. And you, Farewell, chose medicine. You watch as the one that you looked at that has been dead a week only looks like it's been dead maybe a day.
Wait.
This is I don't see this, but does it look like it heals, or does it just suddenly switch to looking like that? I don't know if that's
just some of the things he looks at. Some of the breakdown of the adipose tissue under the sorry, I'm just laughing at something that Rodrigo just sent through. But yeah, you watch as some of the Phil, you see watch as some of the adipose tissue that was breaking down under the skin regenerates. Yeah, I'll use that word. It looks like it regenerates. This guy only looks like he's about a day dead now, but 24 hours.
Sacred Flame. I'm gonna try and commit that crawl.
Yes, stops the burn. I mean, Sacred Flame is radiant damage, so you're trying to destroy a body through sunburn, but it's getting there.
There's more moving. Let's go.
Go.
What?
Go.
Okay.
We should be fighting. The bloody guy who did it.
I've just realised I've got a giant carpet on my back.
Open it.
And then over one shoulder, I've got Eclipse, and I'm just hoofing it down the hallway.
I mean, you guys can try to wake me up.
We could also just get on the carpet. Like,
how wide is
throw
the
on
carpet?
and I'll
Because
slap her.
this is a 10-foot wide corridor, and all the
carpet
sides.
like 12
Well, you said that only 2 people can sit next to each other on it, so it won't be more than 10 feet wide.
Okay, fair.
Even if it's longer than that.
I would like to point out that even Aiden hears the that one of the corpses does.
Alright, let's get out of here.
Out, unroll the carpet, stand on the carpet, pull the sleeping cat onto it.
Cry!
By the way,
I slap Eclipse.
Yell pride, float up so that we're a good head's width away from the ceiling, and shoot off down the corridor, because fuck this for a bag of spanners.
Sure.
Give me a moment, I just need
does
to
Cora
read on
out?
something really quickly.
Yeah, so Cora slaps Eclipse. Eclipse, you wake up. Rude awakening. It's like, how dare they?
Okay.
And, you are awake now, and suddenly you go, hang on, we're still here?
No time for
What?
sleeping.
We're still here? And you're there kind of thinking, but didn't no. You
By the
have
way, Simon,
1 point of exhaustion.
Oh, God.
Eclipse.
Right?
Oh,
I don't like that. Simon, I just need to say that I am, just in case I already used Crimson Rite, right at the dawn, my sword is now, radiant.
Sure. Go
Just
for
as a precaution.
Mm-hmm.
That is a very good precaution.
Okay.
Alright.
So the corridor seems to go ahead. It curves round slightly for dramatic purposes, and I get to choose. And it, Aiden, it goes to this large circular amphitheater type chamber. That is about the only place you can go to on the carpet. There are smaller corridors. They're about 5 foot wide that seem to go to little side rooms and offices and meditation chambers. But
No
you can't
reason
go there on the
to go.
carpet.
God.
Whatever
Gotcha.
it is, they're in the middle.
Yeah.
Which way, Aiden?
I don't know. I don't trust that amphitheater one bit because that's where.
Oh, who does
all
that?
of
I don't
them-
trust this entire place. We're in some form of a
I mean, yeah, me
demi-dimension,
either. I'm
being
just-
controlled by a chaotic god or something.
I mean,
Well-
yeah, same. But the thing is, that's where the amphitheaters where all of them fell dead.
Wait,
Well, we probably
Wait a
still
minute.
need to
Wait.
go there.
wait.
They fell
They
dead
fell.
there?
They fell dead at the amphitheater. We found them near the beginning.
Yeah.
Either they've been moved, or they moved themselves.
You're right. I'm just telling you what I saw and what I heard.
yes.
Well,
because
that
I am
guy's in
sorry.
the amphitheater, and that's where we should go. Unless we're just running away from this, we should be going for the source.
I can't fault her logic.
No.
all right.
Can
Are
I?
you alright, Eclipse?
Yeah.
You
Is
doing
there-
okay?
Another way in?
I suddenly feel so tired. We're still here. I am so confused.
Yeah.
I guess there's no other choice. I just say we should be cautious.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
If-
this is.
Just those
If we
bodies
stay-
look dead.
Wait, I can. Let's look if there's a small room just outside the theater. I may know a way to get us out. But I'm gonna need
We
some
still-
caulk.
We still need to find the rift. We can't leave
Yes,
yet.
I'm meaning if we're about to die, I'd rather have a contingency.
What reagent were you looking for?
Caulk. I need to draw a circle.
Oh, chalk.
Chalk.
Yeah.
Chalk.
That's the
Chalk. Chalk.
Oi.
I need a minute.
We're in a university, right? Don't they have chalk here? Isn't that the point of learning?
Farewell produces a stick of chalk out of his bag and just sort
He
of
absolutely
looks,
does.
looks at
He
Cora
always
like,
I know that he has it. That's why I
As if
asked
I
him.
wouldn't have chalk. I mean, I'm offended. And yeah, there you go. There's some chalk.
As we close into the amphitheater, Gloria will keep an eye out for any side room that might be useful to draw out a magic circle for worst case scenarios.
Okay. Okay.
Because I still haven't gotten to make my portable one. I'm gonna need some time for that.
Yeah, it would take some time. I can't remember how much time it takes to make a.
Yeah, we discussed it, and it's gonna take a
It's a
long
minute or 10 minutes.
time.
Oh no,
Yeah.
Oh no, make my portable one.
Sure, yeah, I'm sure. That's gotta be.
Oh yeah, you haven't got your portable one yet. But if you're gonna chalk one up, I think that takes a bit of time.
Actually, the teleportation circle spell takes 1 minute of casting. But
Yeah, which is
I
fine
just
unless you're in
gonna.
combat.
Yeah, I'm not gonna use the spell. I'm just gonna draw up the circle so that if it comes to it, we can just bolt it to it.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Though, how long time does it take to draw that such circle?
As you cast the spell, you draw a 10-foot diameter circle on the ground.
It takes a minute, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Are you doing that now, Glory?
I want to make the sigil on the ground so that if we run to it, I want to just be able to snap it, activate it.
Are you
Okay.
able to do that?
You can, for something like that, if she's willing to sync the spell slot. So
Yeah.
the spell slot will be pre-cast.
Yeah.
So you've lost that spell slot.
Yeah?
Then you can do it.
Sorry.
So are you going to start to do it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I want
So, Simon, will she need another spell slot to activate it again? Is the question.
No. Let's say she's using 0.9 of a spell slot, and she's keeping the 0.1 back, and then can basically go in and throw the 0.1 in at the end.
Okay, because we only have 1/5 of the spell slot, so that might be good to keep in mind.
It's gonna be academic though, because first of all, Felicia, you don't lose the 5th level spell slot, because as you start to do the ritual, you realize it's not going to work.
There's still a block.
As you start to align the ether that you'll be passing through, it's like kind of make your own wormhole. As you're starting to do that, you realize that nothing is aligning. It's just not happening.
Simon, do I have some wine left?
Roll a d20.
You've got that flask of infinite
I don't.
booze.
Oh, yes.
I don't. I rolled a 2.
You do have the flask of infinite
But I do
booze,
have
though.
infinite. I do have a flask of
yes,
You
Yeah,
have the
but-
flask of infinite.
Yep.
All right,
It's
I
not
take
wine,
a big.
but it's infinite booze.
It is infinite booze. I take a big swig off that flask, and I
Okay.
say, "If we don't die here, I'm quitting."
Okay.
I can probably make sure you get a place back home if you want.
I just ignore her. That's why I
Not have an argument
just
here.
walk.
Either way,
Let's
this
walk
isn't
to the
gonna
back
work.
here.
They've blocked it. I can't access the other realms. Oh, I hate this guy. Question, Simon.
Mm-hmm.
Something that Glory has. Remember that you gave me a one-time Heartstone?
Yeah.
Would that work here?
You place your hand on it. You kind of feel out the spell, as anybody would do, any caster, as they start to connect with their power source. It's not connected.
Good. That's what I want to know. Seems that this magic can't reach in here either. Great.
Shall we?
Yes, shall we?
Let's go.
Okay. You carry on down the corridor, and
Oh.
That was the best.
The best.
I'm assuming that happened at just the right time.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
literally were like, and we were almost like on tenterhooks.
That could be really cool, just, and say, and then finally, and then just shut off, and
Yeah,
then delete
boom.
you from my social media.
Boom,
And then
And then the DM literally died.
So, as you're passing down this curve, it seems to be a sweep, going around all these offices and things, and into the antechamber itself. And as the antechamber starts to come into view, you realise that this is a really ornate building. If you're going to put the amount of enchantment that was clearly put into this, you're going to make it big and
Look
beautiful and look good. And the building work itself is reminiscent, for me at least, to the very old buildings you would find in London. And there's this eerie kind of quality about it that you just can't put your finger on. Before I take us into our break, I'd like you all to roll a d20 again. And this is a blind skill check this time.
What does that mean?
So,
Do I
so
get
good
proficiency?
results are, high results are good.
Are we looking for a high roll or a low roll? Are we suddenly playing Paranoia?
18 for farewell.
19.
Same.
18 as well.
8.
Cora? Damn
Eight
it.
from Cora. Okay. In that case, we will have a break. And
God
we'll
damn
see
it.
you in 15 minutes.
God damn it.
Here we go.
Welcome back, everybody. And when we left off, the party were on a magic carpet, because why not? Going down a very strange corridor in an arcane observatory. And as they turn in the corner, this large sweeping corridor, which seems to go around the perimeter of the center of this building, and it's now starting to curve in. As I say, this strange, ornate building. There's something weird about it, something very strange. And you can see that in the corner of your eye, certain bits just don't match up. And then when you look at them, they start to just match up again. Something very strange is happening around you. You've already gathered that from the things I've said. But it's like the building itself as well is just that little bit out of sync with itself.
Okay, Simon, I would like... There's two questions for you. Am I convinced that I'm on the same plane that I was before? That we haven't just accidentally plane it shifted? And two, is there anything that I can sort of sense or feel or divine out that feels that perhaps time is being abused here or changed or manipulated in any way, shape or form?
Okay, so the first one, judging whether you're still on the same plane of existence, that can be, I guess, it would normally be one set, but because you're moving and you're not stopping to investigate, I'm going to go for a perception check or an arcana check, because moving between planes is very much an arcana thing.
Let's see. Hold on. What?
May I also roll Arcana?
Fuck.
In a sec, yeah.
19.
And that was on which one?
Arcana, I rolled.
Arcana, okay.
I rolled a 60 dice and I have a +3 in Arcana.
You know that moving between the planes of existence is a big deal, and the transition between going from one plane to another isn't smooth. From all descriptions that you've seen in some of the books that you've read, and also you have transitioned through planes of existence before. So yeah, you know it's rough. You know, you do it when you use your knife and tear a hole in reality and fall through, this dark, endless void. It's this lurching sensation as you go from one reality to the next. And you didn't feel any of that. The only way that you could potentially think, okay, I could be on a different plane of existence, maybe if somebody erased my memory of me going from one to the other, but I don't seem to have any gaps in my memory. I walked through the doors into this building. That's the first one. Am I on the same plane of existence? You believe you are. Based on a risk assessment, I guess. Arcane risk assessment. The probability points to being on the same plane of existence and have not moved from this plane of existence. The second one, you asked if time magic was involved. I'm not going to get you to roll, but I will get Felicia to roll in a second. Because you've observed enough to see, corpses don't regenerate. I mean, okay, they do if you resurrect them, but, actual dead bodies don't rot backwards. You have a decent enough amount of evidence to say without rolling that time is definitely a factor here. Felicia,
Yes.
roll with advantage. An Arcana or History check, your choice.
Arcana.
Go
I don't
on,
do
big
history.
whammies, big whammies.
Yeah, that's actually 1 and 16 plus 6. So that is 22.
Okay.
The other one was a 3. So I am happy for the advantage.
Part of your training being a Tezcatlipoca, you are kind of excited.
Obviously.
That is because chronomancy, the magical gift to be able to manipulate time, has not been seen in a very, very long time. You know that the year at the moment is 875 NO. That's New Order. And we're not talking about New World Order, we're talking about New Order.
Live.
Yeah?
Mhm.
875 years ago, the gods and some of the most powerful mortals in these planes of existence came together and performed a giant feat of chronomancy. No one knows why. 875 years ago, and there are people who have lived thousands of years. There are elves that have lived thousands of years. Elf druids in particular. And they remember things from before the New Order. And they remember things after the New Order. They just have trouble remembering the order that they remember things before the New Order. So they will remember a single scene, going to a friend's house, but they won't be able to sit down and write them in a particular order. Some bits, fractions they'll be able to do, but it's like they chopped up time and either took bits out or re-edited them or reordered them or did something with them. You're not entirely sure. So history, reliable history, only goes back 875 years.
Mm-hmm.
And 11 months.
Yeah.
So yeah, you at the moment you know that an act of chronomancy has not been done for 875 years, and it is outlawed by every civilization in the multiverse.
Yeah.
Every plane of existence has one rule, and one rule that all of them share without exception, and that is: do not manipulate time.
Boy, right. So, good
Time
thing, a
travel
bad
bad.
thing. I think I have an estimate on how old our enemy is. Bad thing is, he's almost a century. Well, no. How much is 1,000? A century is
Millennia.
100.
Yes,
A
millennia.
Millennia.
Question, Simon. Just a very quick question. Did I gather any time shenanigans when I did the Grim Psychometry, or no?
No, you didn't witness anything in this short scene that you
Okay.
saw. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, categorically so. Yeah.
So
Gotcha.
we have potentially an enemy here that is over 1,000 years old, is capable of speaking words of death, can
And
manipulate
manipulating
time.
time.
Is breaking the very
Fundamental
fabric
laws of the universe.
of our plane as well, and that.
Oh, that too.
And
It's absolutely
creating...
fascinating because it's been outlawed for so long. There's no text about chronomancy or how it works. This is exciting
This
know,
sounds
because
familiar.
I like learning
As
things.
soon as I thought the universe was going down a weird route and that things were changing beyond my control, suddenly it rebounds back into normality, and you and I are at odds again.
Oh, farewell. I don't want to use it. I just want to understand it. Because it's magic.
Simon,
Mhm.
does that sound familiar to me? Because, like, the description they said, someone over 1,000 years old, which will probably make them undead, who can control time. Does that ring a bell?
Do me a religion check, Rodrigo.
Ooh.
And yes, Sikian and Wonk. I have one banned subclass and one banned race. The banned subclass for a player character is Chronomancer, and the banned race is Revenant. Those are the only restrictions I have in.
I touch Rodrigo's arm and I cast guidance on him. You can add a D4 to your roll.
Yep,
Thank you.
Iwata's farewell reaches through the fourth wall, touches Rodrigo.
Yeah, thank you.
I would say, with my passive perception, and knowing him as well as I do, and knowing what it looks like when he thinks, which is usually how this is painful. Why aren't I drinking?
Question.
I get away with it.
No, never mind.
Yeah. I was only talking about the fourth wall because you said I touch Rodrigo. I was like, surely
Yeah.
you touch Aiden, but yeah.
Does my Hunter's Bane apply for this?
Yes. Yes, it does.
Okay.
Because you're
Alright.
searching through your undead lore.
Okay, so I'm rolling with advantage. Let's see. Wow, those are both 18s. Let's just add the D4. Holy shit. Okay, that's going to be 22. That's going to be 27 total.
Wow.
Okay. In that case,
Wow.
you're about to learn a bit of Illyrian lore. Undead cannot manipulate time. This is up to and including Orcus himself. Even the demon lord of the undead cannot manipulate time. They can use the haste spell, and they can use the slow spell, but they cannot chop up time. They can't go backwards in time.
Right.
And for example, a lich can't go back in time and save their mortal selves. Yeah. It's something to do with their lack of a soul that doesn't... it means they don't have a stable signature in the space-time continuum. They are
Wait a
unnatural.
second.
They are unnatural.
Oh no.
Alright, can't be
Oh. Do you relay that, Rodrigo? Because I just had a revelation.
I say, okay, I thought it was going to be some sort of lich, because this has reminded me a lot of things my family used to tell me, and but undead cannot control time. There's no way for the architect to be over 1,000 years old. Like,
if he's undead.
If he's over 1,000 years old, but he cannot be undead.
So
Rodrigo, you mentioned it had something to do with the soul, right?
Aiden.
Yes,
Aiden.
Aiden.
Yes,
now you're getting it
Aiden.
backwards.
Now I'm getting it backwards.
Now I'm in the game, which is awful because all my stats are negative.
Peak, fourth wall here. But yes.
Yes,
If it
they
has
cannot...
something to do with souls, how do the abyssals tie in? The reason they were harvesting them in the Institute is because they don't have souls the way mortals do.
I don't know. I know a little bit about
Let
demons.
me get this straight. The dudes at...
I'm going to assume the carpet stopped at this point. You know.
Oh god.
Yeah.
The dude's like a millennia old. He's not undead. He can cause some serious magic.
Oh, I know where this is going.
And he's not an abyssal.
Why do we think he's not an abyssal?
Because his soul.
He has to have a regular ass soul to be able to manipulate time.
Right. Elf?
So what we're talking about is
No.
either a
I think we're dealing.
form of creature.
I think we're dealing with a dragon.
No, dragons are smarter than this. Well, most of them.
Well, I would say some are smart.
Yeah, you're right. Some of the
I
lesser
would
ones
say
are
that-
idiots, but the older ones, they don't survive that long if they're not smart.
Yeah,
That's the
but
thing.
Not all chromatics are made equal.
Why do we think
But I
he's
think
not
we're getting-
smart?
He is smart. That's the problem.
Well, that's... I thought you were saying he wasn't being smart. He's
He can't be
clearly...
a dragon if he's smart. That's what I'm saying.
I thought you just said dragons are smart.
They are, but if the architect is smart, then he's not a dragon because he's doing something incredibly stupid, even
we
by
have
dragon
any-
standards.
How is
do we
this
have-
stupid? He seems like he's winning.
Yeah,
I think
I
we're
don't think
kinda
it's
getting-
stupid. It's just against the rules.
I'm kind of thinking we're also getting away from the point here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Something that is
Sorry.
not abyssal having
No,
control
it's-
over an army of abyssals.
It's... Yeah, that is... terrifying point.
Well, if he can
But
kill people
there's
with
one-
one word, he can control them with one, surely.
But there's one problem.
You can't throw around those spells that easy. I've only seen Auntie do it one.
Question. Does
Yes?
anybody have any way of finding him?
No, we do
No.
not.
Well, I
Of finding him.
But-
technically.
I'm gonna damn well try.
Well,
Well,
Surely we're the prey. I
if
think he
he's
knows where we
invisible,
are.
Oh.
yeah,
he's
there's
waiting for
no
us.
use beating around the bush anymore.
Nah,
You
he's
want
been
to-
playing
Let's
with
go
us
in.
long enough.
let's go into the amphitheater and see what's there.
hmm
Okay. As you carry on with the carpet, you bank around the corner, and the amphitheater appears to be completely empty. You haven't gone in there yet, and you're just coming forward, but as you turn around the corner, you can see the amphitheater, and it's completely empty. You go forward, and as you're going forward out of this corridor into the amphitheater itself, it's a large cylindrical room, as you would expect, because the tower outside is roughly the same shape, topped with this beautiful dome that you can only see the barest sliver of at the moment as you're coming in over the threshold. And you can see the start of the illusion that looks at the completely clear night sky above. Completely unadulterated, no light pollution from the city, no clouds. Outside it's kind of a grey pre-dusk. None of that stuff, just a pristine, clear view of space. And then as you cross over the threshold, everyone roll at a d20.
Oh boy. 9 farewell.
Sure.
I'm hoping this is good. The low rolls are good, because 6.
15?
Mm-hmm.
7.
Okay.
1.
Ooh. That
Okay.
dice goes to jail.
Right, so in order, farewell. You revisit some of the thoughts that you've just had. That is all. Glory, you do the same. Cora, you're a bit tired. The kind of nice, warm, fuzzy feeling that you had before is gone now. You're like, I'm nearly ready. I want food. I want drink. I want my bed. You're not quite there yet. So you're there. What was yours again, Rodrigo?
1. Natural 1.
Are you missing any hit points?
Yes, actually.
Refill your hit points to maximum.
Okay.
If you've lost any features from your class that you've used that you need to get back, get them back.
Okay, thank you.
Your crimson right has deactivated on your sword. Your hit points are back to maximum, and your maximum has been redone. You can just reapply it again, but that has happened. What was your result again, Corinne?
6.
6. Yeah, your point of exhaustion just evaporates, and you're like, yeah, you're ready. You're ready. You're good. You're good. Yeah, ready and raring to go. And have you used any of your spell slots?
Yes, I have.
Regain a level 1 spell slot.
Oh, damn it! I'm at the level 2.
Okay. So,
I have only used the second level spell slot, so I do not regain any spell slots.
no, you don't regain anything, I'm afraid. As you cross the threshold, this completely clear, pristine amphitheater suddenly changes. It's the same amphitheater. You go into the arena. It's got this beautiful, as I say, clear night sky, and you can only barely see that it's dome-shaped. But the scene in front of you couldn't be more different. Where it was completely clear now, before, Now it's strewn with dead bodies. There's a few things that I'm not even going to get you to roll. You just take it in, you're ready, you're focused, you're ready to engage this. On the far wall is a large crack, probably about 7 foot in diameter. In length, but in diameter, a couple of feet. And it's got this strange twisting motion. And it seems to go into complete blackness, but the blackness twists strangely. And you're pretty sure that that is the rift that you've been sent to find. The other thing that you notice, because really glaringly obvious, in the same position that she was in when Cora went stealing her books, Renata Green is levitating about 3 foot off the floor, in the same position that she was at her desk, except it's a spectral form. This is an astral projection of Renata Green. She is one color like a ghost, and she is projecting in, and there is a silvery light that ripples out like light going through water, where the waves kind of bend the light, and there's this ripple at the bottom of a swimming pool or on the sand underneath clear seawater. That ripple, kind of beautiful, incredibly eerie considering where it is. And she's just levitating over what seems to be strewn all over the place, tons of dead bodies. There's also one extra thing that is there that wasn't there before you crossed the threshold. And that is a number of crates with the green symbol on them. Some of them are chests, some of them are loading crates, and they seem to have a mixture of desks, and you can see that there's some arcane implements, there's some rods and wands, there's an orb, there's some other kind of artifice things, just magical instruments that you would normally recognize in a arcane university. And there's also, you can see straight away, Felicia, that there's an enchantment apparatus and a pot of residuum. You think probably about 400 gold's worth of residuum in a small crucible on the enchantment desk itself. A lot of the items that should be on the enchantment desk have been hit and are strewn across the floor. So whatever happened with the fight or whatever, it's kind of messed up whatever was going on.
Mm-hmm.
And as you cross the threshold, you take this in a moment, and you can hear from around the room, but in a specific place of the room, you think it's off to your left, you can hear not even a booming voice, not an arcane voice, it's not coming from the rift, it's not coming from the walls, but you can just hear, "Who are you? Who are you? It's as if you're everywhere. You're playing games. Playing games with me. How dare you? Do you know who I am? Do you? I will crush you, little mage. Crush you." And then the rift just suddenly explodes, and there's a 15-foot crack that goes in one direction, a 30-foot crack that goes in another direction. There's a few other little splinter cracks that happen all over the place. And then it's almost as if the world is a Rubik's Cube. And you can just see as everything bends in front of your eyes, and it's painful. You can't focus on any one major detail. And some of you are even tempted to close your eyes. And when you open them again, or once the kind of strange folding of reality happens, the rift goes back to the same 7-foot, 1-foot wide rift. Renata...
We saw the time knife!
Renata does nothing. At the moment, she is levitating 3 foot off the floor, lotus position, hands on her knees, eyes closed, beads of sweat dripping down her face.
I would like to use my mental connection with Farewell Barebone to tell him.
Absolutely.
Any chance you can use that nifty knife of yours to close that thing real quick and easy? You are pushed to talk.
Yeah.
Or muted. You have muted yourself.
I am muted myself.
Nice.
That'll teach me. I Farewell responds by just going, that wasn't in the manual. There wasn't really, he didn't really come with a manual. There's not really, and he sort of, almost unconsciously and reflexively just summons it back into his hand. And he just sort of just starts staring at it and sort of just, everything that he's ever been trained and taught says that, there's words and there's movement and there's some kind of divine connection, and that is taught by rote, or it's written down, or it's shared. At the moment, he has no idea.
Another thing we can potentially try, Farewell, is that nifty banishment spell you have.
How upset would would you be if I said I didn't pack it?
Very upset. Very upset.
I did pack it. I'm completely lying.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
That's even better.
I'm completely lying. I just wanted to see the look on your face as your brain imploded, as you were like, "What do you mean you didn't bring fucking banishment?"
I hate you, Nick. I hate
Like, we're gonna fight an extra platter creature. I don't need banishment. Banishment is useless for that.
I don't know if I wanna use banishment on this guy. Because he's currently trapped in the abyss, and that's not his home realm.
That is dangerously intelligent.
I am intelligent, thank you very much.
I never said you weren't. I said you were dangerously intelligent. That works. But, I mean, that's
quite a compliment. Okay. As you guys are talking,
I would like to. Oh shit! I can't channel divinity. We're not level. I can't divine intervention because we're not fucking level 10 yet. I was like, I don't know. Ask God.
Dear God.
Dear God.
WTF sen.
Yeah. How the most useless way of blowing a third level spell slot for sending. Dear Raven Queen, what the fuck? BBQ.
Oh no, it's WTF is worrying. Teach Farewell. So.
What have I got? What have I got that could help?
As you're deliberating this, you do hear, we're being visited, or have been visited, or will be visited. Damn this!
Is it Renata doing the time magic?
Yes, I can see them now. I just had to look in the right number of dimensions. Hello, Farewell Barebones. I now.
He's always up the end.
Aiden Canal.
Oh wait,
Howdy.
Hold on. Can I just?
Alright.
In the last session, this is a while ago. wasn't I and Eclipse both looking like Farewell?
Oh yeah, we all.
Oh yeah, there were 3 farewells walking through the parade.
We disguised ourselves because he was the one sought after.
You know what?
That's
We
unfortunately.
can't retcon that.
No,
We can just-
It wasn't. I mean, it's not retconning. It's
It
remembering
will have dropped when you went across one of the thresholds.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
Reapply it.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
We can just reapply it though.
yeah. Question: Would Because knowing that Farewell is the one that's sought after before we went into the this is retconning potentially, but I'd forgotten that this was a thing. But like, I feel like Cora might have tried to disguise herself again, whether or not it would work. If she has,
I'll accept it. I'll accept it. Once it drops, you go, huh? What?
Yeah, well,
Boom,
especially
and you
before
bring
we're
it
about
back
to
up.
go in the atrium, it's like, okay, we need a plan. We're about to walk in there, and
You would have had to have reapplied it the second you crossed the threshold into the atrium, into the amphitheater.
So it disappears, and then I'm like,
we
oh, shit.
would have.
But how does it work with Corinne's hat?
Well,
Just
works, I guess. I need to reapply it, but
I will say, boom, boom, boom. Yeah, she can just reapply it. That should tell you something. I don't want to tell you too much, but yeah, she can reapply it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Sorry.
So, yeah,
Sorry to interrupt. I suddenly was like, hold on.
He says, this should tell you something. Then he goes, farewell, Barebones. Aiden Canelm.
Howdy.
Cora Yorsena. Glory Tezcacotl. And yes, Eclipse of the Moon. You've been quite the thorn in my side.
I think we've been made.
Yeah.
Are we seeing this entity or just hearing
Little
him?
mage.
Nope.
You have called for help. A wise move. Your game is somewhat distracting, but I can figure it out. I can figure anything out. I can adapt to anything. Anything. And the rift explodes again, and once again you feel like someone's playing Rubik's cubes with your eyeballs, and it's back to normal again, and you can just hear this shriek, this unearthly shriek of frustration.
If he has to say that he can adapt to anything, I don't feel like he can adapt to anything, because normally if you say you have to
Oh
say
no,
that
he's definitely overcompensating for something he doesn't have.
Oh my god, Felicia.
The perception check on everybody.
Did I piss him off that much?
30, 20.
Oh, come on!
18.
Okay.
Natural 20.
19.
Okay. Everybody apart from Aiden notices that one of the corpses has turned its head. It was kind of face down on the floor. It's turned its head to the side, and you notice the eyeballs move in the head, and it's watching you.
And there was like
Great!
loads and loads of them or something. Is that right? They're all over.
Oh
the
yeah,
place?
there's easily 50-odd corpses in this room.
Yeah.
Glory, you wanna?
Is it,
What's
is it
going
a
on?
pile, or are they spread out?
They're spread out. By the looks of it, some of them were sat on the crates. By the looks of the people, the corpses in the middle, the corpses in the middle were a bunch of wizards trying to do a ritual, because they're all round in a circle. There's a kind of chalked up circle amongst them. There seems to be a brazier that they're using, a small portable brazier, to do the ritual as well. And there seems to be like a broken glass near one of them, so maybe the guy was drinking or taking a healing potion or something. You're not entirely sure, but they all seem to just fall down. Whatever they were doing at the time, they just fell down and just died. And and Aiden, you absolutely know that was the case. So looking at these strewn
Gotcha.
bodies, you know this was the case.
Okay.
But the rest of you can kind of deduce a certain level of that as well. But the rest of you can see that this corpse's eyes are flickering back and forth like anybody who is scanning a room.
I will point this out to Aiden so he can also look at the scary corpse.
Oh fuck.
Right.
Remind me, we've got
Let's
a
go
portal
stab
that's
Let's
torn
go
in
stab the
front
rift.
of us,
Stab the rift.
Yeah.
Stab
and
the
then
rift.
we have, in effect, the bad evil guy, Spectral Renata, and then we're surrounded by about 50 corpses.
Yep, 50 corpses, spectral Renata, disembodied voice, although not disembodied as in doesn't have a location. The corpse that's looking at you was roughly in the direction of the guy, of his voice.
Huh.
And that corpse is now just looking at you.
Mr. Simon, can I please use Crimson Right?
Yes.
Thank you.
Mr. Simon.
Mr. Simon. Mr. Dungeon Master.
Mr. Simon.
Please, sir.
Simon.
Please, sir.
I'm sort of looking around and I'm trying to get an understanding as to whether or not the rest of the people I'm with are about go into fight mode or going into.
They all look dead.
No,
I'm talking about us?
What? You mean my team?
My team.
Oh no!
Cora is reaching out towards the thing with her ringed hand and is eyeing up everyone else. She wants to blast this guy with a firebolt. Like she wants to.
I just have my saber out, ready, cut myself a nasty gash to have it glow. Mm-hmm. So yeah, just in case.
Yeah, I want to burn this place down.
I am gonna try something.
I look at Farewell and I'm like, stab that fucking rift.
I'm telling you, Farewell, stab the rift, please.
I want to try something, and it is not
rift.
throwing acid at it.
Well, that's a surprise.
Yes, I know.
I don't.
But I want to test a theory that we came up with.
It's a key.
I will address Mr. Voice.
Go on.
So, you're the architect. Tell me, why are you working with abyssals? They're so disorderly for someone like you.
Architect. Yes. One of many names. All truly inaccurate, but I guess serviceable for now. Most people call me Master. If you survive, maybe you will too, little dragonling. I use what materials I have to hand. Until I can reach my perfection, I have to go through many iterations of this imperfect world.
Really?
Simon, S.
Simon.
Both. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, Rodrigo. You can finish your thing first because there was I was.
As Glory and the architect are talking, while the architect is talking, can I roll perception to determine where the fuck that voice is coming from?
Sure. Go for it.
Can I do the same? Cora's totally like she's staring at the guy who looked, because you said it was kind of coming from that direction.
That's better.
Yeah, you go for it.
That's going to be 15 for me.
Mm-hmm.
Glory's doing the one thing except
perception,
acid that she knows how to do, and that is talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's only a 13.
Okay, between the two of you, I'm going to say that the 13 almost doesn't get you there, Kate. 15 was what I was going for, now that you're looking specifically in that direction. And when you see Aiden react, because he got 15 on the nose, when you see Aiden react, you kind of just snap to where he's looking, and you see it too. So I'll let you both be in the know on this. There's a body face down behind the one that's looking at you, and as it's talking, you can see that the head is moving very, very slightly.
I very quietly... How close am I to Farewell?
You're on the same carpet. Wherever you choose.
I forgot that we were on the carpet. My bad. Yeah. I tap it, I quietly tap him on the shoulder, get his attention, and point him to the body that you told me about as they're talking.
As with your passive perception alone, Farewell, now that Aiden has pointed you in the right direction, as this conversation continues between the architect and Glory, you can see that the head behind the head that is looking at you. Every time the architect talks, the head is moving. And now that you're listening to the voice, you realize that the voice has a very strange quality to it, and that is because he's talking right up against the floor.
Eyes of the grave.
There's no undead in this room.
Huh. Interesting.
Can I go back to the fact that what I was trying to do is, because these idiot insisted that this guy was a dragon, I wanted to talk to him because that would tell me if I get advantage against talking with dragons.
I'm not going to get you to roll. You have spent your entire life idolizing dragons.
Yes.
One in particular, but dragons in general. You come from the continent of dragons.
Exactly.
It's not a dragon. This thing is not a dragon.
Good.
Yeah.
That was what I wanted to establish, amongst other things.
Well, might as well keep
Tell me,
distracted.
smart people are not.
Distracted.
So, yes. So, Mr. Architect, is this time magic you're doing?
This time? I come from a place where time does not strictly exist. So it's interesting. Is that what she's doing? Manipulating time? I thought she was using some form of illusionary trap.
It might be illusion, I don't know.
That's gonna be a charisma check, I'm sure.
Roll deception.
Yeah, roll me something. I feel like it's something. Deception will definitely be.
I'm
acceptable.
happy to roll deception.
This is the worst thing. Is this is so in character, so we really cannot complain.
Yeah,
No,
we really
this is so in character.
At least you didn't go. By the way, have you heard anything about the Heart of Juladan?
This might be the guy to ask, because he's old enough.
Hey, this encounter isn't
But it
done
might
yet.
have been after his time. So.
Natural 20.
Oh, shut up!
Sure, you bumble
up.
in a way that only a cat can. In a way that only a cat can, the architect comes to the conclusion that he already was going towards, that you're an idiot. And he's there going, he's now entertaining the idea that this is, that this time effect that he's experiencing might not be illusionary, that it might be true time folding. But he's, as far as he's concerned, when you start kind of bumbling about, he's there going, oh, mortals. And he just thinks you're an idiot.
Yay.
Way to dodge the bullet, Eclipse. Way to dodge.
Bumbling your way to victory.
Yep.
Bards have been doing it for years.
More like fucking the way to victory.
And so
Simon, is there?
I
sorry to keep jumping
seduced the
across.
architect.
There's a lot of conversation going on here about keys and that. And Farewell's concern is that this is any door is two-way, right?
Mhm.
Sticking this damn thing in there could close it, but
Or
equally,
open it.
or open it, and it might be only cracked at the moment. So the idea of just jamming the knife in there without thinking about it terrifies the shit out of him.
responsible
That's fair.
D&D players.
I know. What's wrong with me? Like, I'm
Yeah.
playing
Stab.
the kind of character be playing a game of Dungeons and Dragons. I should just be like, cross, stab.
Just stab the fucking thing.
Yeah, you are not entirely sure what the effect of putting a planar key, as they keep talking about your knife, into a rift will do. Typically,
Question.
your knife opens rifts that then close naturally because the knife doesn't sustain the effect. So you've only opened things with the knife before.
That was exactly what was going ahead. I've only ever opened stuff just closed.
It's a zipper.
It is, yeah. It is an interplanar zipper, and now I can never look at it.
Let me be a player and say, Karin, you're a fucking stealth kitty. Go murder that corpse that's talking.
I will go and do that.
The corpse. Kind of. Will I perceive that Eclipse is beginning to move to get into killing range?
Well, if she's actively stealthing and you're staring at this corpse, normally I would say that she'd have to roll stealth versus your passive perception. But you're looking at the corpse she's stealthing to, so I'm gonna go with roll off. Both of you.
Go on. Well, it doesn't matter. That was a natural one. So.
Okay.
And Karin also rolls a 1.
Well, even if I roll a 1, I think my plus is higher.
Ooh.
Rogue. Yeah, maybe.
Expertise.
Yeah.
Stab.
I rolled an 8, but with my plus 13, that turns into a 21.
No.
21.
Stab.
Wow. So you somehow a cat steps off the carpet and manages to stealth amongst a bunch of prone dead bodies in such a way that the guy with a passive perception of, what is it, 18? 20 doesn't see it. So you're just there fixated on it, farewell, and then suddenly roll the attack, and yes, you get sneak attack against the dead body.
Assume I auto crit, or I don't know, advantage anyway.
Let's
Well,
go
you're
with
not
that.
an assassin.
Actually, yes. So, you auto crit, so just roll damage and double it.
Nice.
All right.
The target figure you're looking for here is 12.
All right.
12. I will kill that so much.
Yes.
Oh, the suspense is killing me.
I'm pretty sure she kills it just based on the dice she rolls.
Yeah.
Mm.
Imagine that this whole climatic confrontation ends with Eclipse just going stab and the architect just dies.
Yeah.
Well,
We've all
I
been
don't
playing
know
it
what
very
happens
safe.
if she stabs every single corpse in the room, but it's an option.
Like, I just think it's funny that this big encounter just ends with a cat just stabbing one corpse so hard it explodes, and that's it.
Yeah. Chuck Norris ending is just.
I mean, I think it exploded. Let's see.
God, I love rogues.
Yeah, Shugi.
You said it at 12. You need 4 more, and you will have exploded it.
30.
Yeah, it's been exploded maybe
39.
twice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's exploded
Divided by
twice.
Plus 6.
Command of Swedish.
47.
Okay, so farewell. You're there watching this corpse, and suddenly you're shocked as this corpse starts to stand up, and then there's this explosion as the corpse just kind of rips in half, and standing there with this lash knife is Eclipse. And the pieces of the body fall down. It's like 3 pieces fall down. It's like she's carved it kind of up kind of along the spine. It's like she's doing like a side of beef. And it goes slupped on the floor. And this the head I'm going to say, is one part that she didn't do, although the head is mostly severed off at the neck. It's kind of just got a bit of a chunk hanging off from one side. And the head goes, "Do you mind? We were speaking."
Yeah, I was pretty sure that he was just using their bodies as meat puppets.
Yeah.
Raw.
I kind of like idly stab the head, like if that's gonna work.
To be fair,
If the hat spoke to me, I would stab it.
to be fair, this was Glory's idea, not Eclipse's.
No. This was Felicia's idea.
Yeah.
I specifically
I
said
hold
as
out.
a player.
But it's very cat-like that she stabs the head as she's playing with it. She's a cat playing with it.
I hold out the knife, and I point it to the portal, and I want to see if any of the cult attention to what I'm doing. So I want to make it look like
roll me a
more completed.
perception check. As you're doing this, he was about to say raw materials, and as he says raw materials, he goes, "Raw materials I can use." And then the body that's in front of you, Eclipse, stops talking, and a female mage about 10 foot on the other side of the carpet goes, "I can use whatever I want, as long as I manage to extend my reach towards it. Everything here is just raw materials for my design, for whatever I want."
Oh, this is creepy. I love it.
Fascinating.
And
Surely.
Farewell, you can see that. What was your check again?
23.
23. You can see that two other corpses have opened their eyes, and the lower limbs are twitching. There is a go on. I like it for flavor. There is a crack as he figures out the knees don't bend the other way, you can see that two of the corpses look like he's trying to try them on, like having only so many fingers inside the glove and trying to figure out how to put the other fingers in.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you such a
Does-
coward?
But are they? But they are. They are what?
As you're pointing, Farewell, these are about 20 foot away. They are looking directly at the knife. And as Cora says, "Are you a coward?" Was that what you were going to say? Are you a coward?
Yeah, I said, why are you such a coward? Why are you not coming and fighting us yourself?
Intimidation check.
I want to assist because this is the type of thing that Aiden would also be saying. So I'm like,
Either that or like, what the fuck? Is
Yeah,
something
like-
I can imagine him saying right now.
yeah.
So
I do want to get. Yeah, I'm helping Cora with her intimidation check.
Okay, in that case, Cora, do it with advantage. As you say, "Why are you such a coward?" Aiden kind of just steps behind you and just smiles. And if there's one thing that's more off-putting than some of Aiden's more surly appearances, it's when he smiles.
I like that.
I can
really
re-roll a 1 even if it's part of a 2
Yes, you
dice
can.
roll thing.
Yep.
Yeah, halfling luck, baby. Halfling luck.
It
Aiden's
bounced
a
back to a
pretty
natural
boy.
20.
Oh,
So I'll ignore the 8 that I
Army
rolled.
justice.
At that point, in the back of your head, Cora, you hear, "Well done! Well done! Why is the picture so bad?"
Okay, daddy-in-law is watching. Good to know.
Oh, okay. I'm so I was like, why would he say what? Why would he say that to me? Okay, it's sorry. It's my patron said that. Sorry.
And you hear the architect say, still currently using the mouth on the female body, and goes, Coward? Coward? I am a visionary. I
Vish-
know what
call
to
it-
do with this place.
This is my assist, by the
What
way.
they have done to this place, they have spoiled my work, my beautiful, beautiful work. And you are just parasites, not even parasites. You can tell that the posh voice of the character that he's using the mouth of seems to be coming out, which makes you question whether or not you've actually heard the architect's true voice. And you can see that as she's getting quite upset, well, when you look over to her, it's actually her back. She's facing the other way. You can see that her back is heaving, and so the body is animating and emoting more than the previous one was. And it says, "You're not even parasites. You're motes of dust. You're motes of dust in the machine, in my machine, and I need to cleanse you."
Simon.
You.
How come?
I'll be with you in a sec, Rodrigo. And as this real kind of emoting of the fact that the architect now wants to cleanse you, you can hear again in the back of your mind, "Oh my word! This investment was one of my best." Getting more angry, Cora. I shall reward you. No, seriously, why is it all in the wrong order? That's what I want to know. I'm just
Smacking the TV.
I'm just about following. I'm really just about following here.
Is Simon now suddenly playing a viewer who is like, their streamers just doing
Yeah.
Thing has gone shit.
I wanna
Exactly.
I want to picture Cora as like a patron getting up, going to the modem, fucking turning it off, like turning it off, turning it on again, going back, see if the video's still buffering.
Try switching the server to the primal one.
Either way. Do you want to go first, Rodrigo?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, go for it.
No, this is for my assist because I did use the help action with Cora.
Yes, you did. Yeah.
I say, visionary architect, call it whatever the fuck you want. You're still a coward, and you're calling us parasites, and yet you're the one inhabiting human corpses just to be able to talk to us. That sounds pretty parasitic to me.
I'm using what I can. Once I can open this door, I will be very happy to step out and show you my true form. Well,
Oh, really? Then
at
how
least
come
let you bask for a second in my magnificence.
I cast Dispel Magic on the rift.
On the corpse?
Oh,
Did
no,
you
on
say?
the rift.
On the rift. Sure, which level?
4.
Can I mount
Oh.
up at him? Sadness.
Do me an arcane check.
So is this Arcana or just pure straight wisdom?
Arcana.
Okay. 22.
22. Yeah, you're there, kind of like let this guy keep talking, and you focus on the rift, and suddenly your mind shoots back, and you are a penitent on your knees in front of the altar of the Raven Queen, and Dusk is reading from one of the many tomes of books written by the clerics throughout the years. And she talks about how everything has an end, and the Raven Queen isn't just responsible for the end of life, but also to make sure that the energies of the world go through the correct cycles, and that everything that is created can be destroyed, or at least be subject to entropy. And at the moment where you kind of get this, she mentions the word entropy, you're like, Merrick, you dick. Because he refers to necromancy as entropy. And she starts talking about, and she's giving you the theory of how you managed to get this dispel magic, because it's not enough to just call on your god. You have to understand what you're asking your god for, and this is the lesson that you had. You focus on that lesson, and you go, this rift, it's a tear. A tear requires energy. The tear itself will be entropy, but to rip something, you need to put energy in the first place. I know you're a chemist, and I know that you know I'm drawing from our common experience here, with a bit of magic thrown in. And you go, so all I have to do is take out the energy of the destruction, and the nature of reality should just flow back in, and it should heal, right? Sure. And you focus just on one part of the rift, and as you push this level 4 spell, part of the rift just sews back up. It's now a 4-foot rift.
Ah! I do it again. And Farewell will literally go, ah! I just repeat the spell. Fuck it. 4th level. It's just like.
Cora's going
While Farewell is doing that, the rest of us are keeping the guy really angry by continuously mouthing off
salty.
against him.
Yeah.
Are we trolling our way through an encounter?
Yes! That's what we're doing!
I've just realised.
Craziest fucking teamwork check. It's just like, quick, keep pissing him off. I'm onto something.
Give me a moment.
That one. Sure. You're really gonna have to distract him, because he would have felt that. So suddenly, you hear this uppity female voice go, "What?" And I need you guys to say something. I need you to do a distraction roll.
Oh,
Okay, Simon.
really?
Simon, my.
If you're gonna stand, lay there and be all high and mighty, at least you should acknowledge that if you're so great, then why are you locked up in the first place? Really?
I will get to you in just a sec. Nick, I'm just going to respond to this. Because, my dear, the gods themselves put me there. They could not handle me. First, they needed me. They created me. I was their tool. But I was better than them. I saw better than them. They could not deal with my vision. And, give me a fucking roll, Felicia and Nick.
What do you
I'm
want me to roll, my
I'm
dude?
nat 20'd.
Oh, that's great.
Okay.
So 23.
Okay. This bit's going to be interesting. So, Felicia, you, what was your role? Your role is charisma with proficiency. This is trash. This is trash talking. It's almost a racial ability from where you come from.
That's 24.
Okay. You can see this person is absolutely pissed. Cora, you can you hear in the back of your mind, oh, it's like a team sport. And
Oh yes.
The nat 20, you guys watch as the rift sews up in its entirety, and you hear, no, and you can see the body starting to flop and all the rest of it, and then all of the voices, all of the corpses as one go, no!
Oh no.
And there's an eruption, this tiny little moat of weakness between the planes explodes out, and there's this tiny, it's like a black bead, where the architect, now realizing that that you've managed to pull this trick momentarily and get it back, is now using all of, I'm going to keep using his will for now, to keep just this one moat open. But the voice now, from many different sources, seems more discombobulated, more strained. And it seems like, oh god, how would I describe it? Like someone who has never spoken with their mouth is using the mouth after reading a manual. Right?
Okay.
I actually like that description. I'm going to go with that.
I like it.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
And you can hear this kind of flapping of gums and biting of lips from various corpses as the architect goes, "Trickery! Is that all you have? Trickery! I can do some trickery of my own!"
I guess you're
I would
not
like
so
everyone
great
to roll a
because you
natural
failed.
20. But natural 20? I like to roll everybody to roll a d20.
God.
You're asking a bit much to ask us all to roll that.
Yeah, everyone roll a
d20, so you're all gonna die.
Yeah, if you don't roll an 20 right now, you're screwed.
Everyone dies.
Oh, it's not a natural 20.
13
This
for
is good
farewell.
bad.
13 for farewell.
16 for
Okay.
Aiden.
16 for Aiden. Cool.
7.
Good to know.
11.
Also good to know.
10.
Okay, so that one. Okay, so in a moment that the architect is acting out of pure desperation, you can see this kind of your eyes, someone playing Rubik's Cube with your eyes again, and the first thing that happens is that a what seems to be a family bodyguard. He's wearing a kind of like a servant's
no.
costume, and he's got a large two-handed sword, a great sword, on his back. But then he has a smaller sword, kind of a long sword at his hip. You think that the one on his back is more to scare people off. And he was on the floor, dead, like the rest of them. Suddenly, kaleidoscope eyes, and he's standing there going, "What? What? But... oh no! No!" And he falls down, cradling a young woman around about 19 years of age. He himself is in his 50s. Both of these human. And he goes, "I'm sorry! I failed you! And he's hugging the corpse to his chest. Off to the side, one of the wizards that was doing the circle, and was you presume was doing a ritual, and Aiden knows was doing a ritual because he could hear them chanting, goes from being a corpse on the floor to standing as one of the people in the circle going, what? No! But he looks for the rift. He immediately looks for the rift, and the rift isn't there apart from this little bead. And he goes, turns to you, goes, "Help! Help me! Help me! Help me! Help me! Help me!" And goes into a panic attack. And the broken glass that was over in one corner suddenly goes and forms into a healing potion that's in the hand of a slender-looking wood elf. She is wearing hunting leathers, very posh hunting leathers, definitely kind of upper class of the city. And she's got it to her lips and goes, "What? But... what? How?" And then she gestures in front of her, and a bow appears in her hand. She drops the healing potion, puts her hand to the bow, and an arrow appears. She draws it in a blisteringly quick action, and points it at you guys, and goes, "Who did this? Who did this? Who?
It's a long story,
Who
and I
did
just...
this?"
If you would give us one moment to close the last bit of this rift, then we can get down with it, okay?
she snaps to where the rift was and goes, "But it's
There's one bit
is
left.
is that it?" And she can see the little swirling like marble of black, and she goes,
Yes.
Is that it?" And she lets go of the arrow, and
Oh, no.
and the arrow looses. She hits the bead perfectly. A very good huntress.
Ooh.
Hello.
Felicia, do me a charisma roll with proficiency. She hits it. The arrow goes through the marble and disappears.
23.
Yes. You know that this is Annalena Raiz. Raiz. And Annalena is a retired huntress. Big game hunter. And, she basically is just enjoying the high life in the city. But, her
Fair.
armor is actually, she killed everything to get this beautiful hunting leathers. And they're all made from exotic creatures. You remember her by reputation. She wasn't the type to go to your kind of party.
Nah, fair.
Yeah. Being very much of the older generation, not that she looks it. And yeah, 3 people who were dead. Three people who were dead are now perfectly alive.
Simon, is there a...
Corinne, you're really, really super quiet.
Okay. Simon, is there a possibility, if I were to use my detect thoughts to connect with Renata to kind of get her in on this? She's been kind of, hasn't she?
She hasn't responded to any of this scene.
Yeah.
You can see that there are beads of perspiration going down her face. Her eyes are just 2 motes of lights, like 2 miniature stars. And this, as I say, this like silver aurora borealis is coming off her projected form in every direction. Her jaw is clenched. Her face is kind of in a worried kind of rictus. Total concentration. You think if you were to try to detect thoughts on her, you would be able to do just that, detect her thoughts, and maybe kind of read something off the surface. Maybe she's left a clue, or she's trying to communicate to you, so you might be able to open a channel and receive messages. It doesn't give you telepathic, the ability to talk telepathically.
No, I was more thinking that because she is so powerful that she would notice me kind of...
It's worth a gamble.
Yeah.
I would say, based on your knowledge, it's worth a gamble.
I'll do it. Might as well. So I'm gonna use my detect thoughts, which I know, and I can read all of your thoughts. Be happy.
Cute.
And I will.
Do we have to tell you what we're thinking right now?
No, I have to focus on you guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you even need me to explain what Glory's thinking right now?
No.
No.
Damn, that's
No.
one hot dead girl. But that's what she's thinking. Let's face it.
I'm sure there's a Rob Zombie song that called that. I'm sure.
No.
So, Corinne, the first thing that you get from Renata is the reciting of a language. I'm going to go with that. It seems like she's reciting some form of language, some incantation, you think, but it sounds weird. Her voice seems really distorted. It's twisty, I guess is the best description.
It's not undercommon.
No.
No, it's gonna be older than that.
You don't even recognize the accent.
Okay. Well, I will try to dig deeper so she will notice me trying to access her thoughts.
Okay. Give me a roll. Or do I roll?
Let me double check.
Thank you, roll.
I'm pretty sure I roll. Now I have to roll something completely different. Okay.
Yeah, wisdom save.
Okay. I rolled a 2.
Even
I rolled a 2 and a 3 to
so,
expedite.
I
You delve into the mind of Renata
Renata-
Green.
Oh my god.
And
She knows I'm delving into her mind. She knows that
oh,
I tried to
hell yeah, she does. But she's really distracted. So as you delve into her mind, it is an absolute cacophony. And as you delve in, you realize that this is like a bunch of layers. That it's Renata Green's mind, 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 Renata Green's mind. And as you step in, you hear, first of all, ooh, you've really thrown me for a loop here. But I'm up to
I'm
the
sorry.
I'm up to the challenge, and I'm trying to bring this to a
Time to railroad the entire campaign.
a bit of a drawing to a close as well. To
What I think you meant.
Did I kill the rift, by the way?
Well, you got it down to the bead. Remember.
Oh right. Well, I'll cast another third one. Kill it.
We'll get to that in a sec.
Also, Felicia, I think you meant derail the campaign.
I'll get you to do a particular roll, Nick, because now that you've spent time sewing up the rift, you get some insight. Because
Cool.
you don't go and do that and not learn something. So the first thing that you get, Eclipse, when you delve into Renata's mind, is that ordinarily Renata has a defense that stops people from doing this. But because of the amount of power that she's channeling, it has deactivated some of her wards and her preparations. You have a feeling that you wouldn't be able to do this on any given day, that you have, through sheer luck, picked the one time when she's vulnerable. The first layer that you go through, and it feels very much like falling through maybe different colors, is probably the best way that I can describe it. As you fall through one color, you can hear her say, I am here and I am there, and I am traveling through here, and I'm staying away from there, but I'm here with me, and I'm there with us, and we are traveling through each other, and that is okay. We need to be. We can do this, as we did, as we are, as we were, as we will be. We are one. It is good. We can traverse, as we do, as we will, as we have done. And it makes no sense at all. You drop through the next colour, and she says, they could help. I do think they could help. I guess put them under Olivia? Maybe. I think they would need to widen their experience to start to expect the unexpected. Who else, maybe? Merrick? How about...
Sorry.
Who else? Maybe him.
Did she fucking plan this?
Woof, into the next layer. And suddenly she goes, the puppy's so much fun! Oh, so much fun! But he'll die. No. No. What do you mean? No? Oh. Woof. Through another layer again. And she says, no. I'm telling you. No, I'm telling you, this needs to be done. I'm sorry, Galen, but this needs to be done. I can't have a past It's too dangerous. Somebody who would end up going after me. Look, I need to be someone of influence around here. Not too much focus, but enough. Enough that the right people can find me, but enough that the right people won't see me as a threat. Like a petty grabbing. I don't understand. I guess it's like a petty grabbing landowner or something. Maybe there's something we can do with that. I need to have a reputation for being magical, obviously, because I don't want that to be a sudden surprise for someone. They shouldn't be surprised when all of a sudden I can do things. But they can't know my real name. They can't know who I am. So I guess this is one time where I get to do it. I know it's dangerous, and I know they could be watching, but it needs to happen. The cord needs to be cut. Woof! And through another layer as you go further and down. You go through a few layers where the scenes are non sequiturs and just don't seem to make any sense. There are some where Renata's mind is deliberately conjuring scenes of pleasure, scenes of comfort, scenes of purpose. There are times when she was angry in her life. There were times when she was reveling in the companionship of friends. There were times when she was arguing morals and politics and whether things should be the way they are with some of the greatest arcanists that she can get access to. And you pass through layer after layer as the many complexities of Renata Green build up, and you can see that as you're passing through these layers, that that Renata seems to have built shields in her mind that aren't necessarily for you, the little sneak thief you are that managed to hack your way and pick the lock of her mind.
I
But
just wanted to
instead-
let her know we were here.
Just into her mind. But these layers, almost like I think there's actually a prismatic dome, a prismatic shield you can get. But these layers are like a prismatic shield, a prismatic wall. But they are layers of Renata's own experiences that she's put around herself, not just to protect herself from outside forces, but to compose herself from within. As you get closer and closer
It's
and
like
closer,
one of those Russian dolls.
very much,
Matryoshka dolls, yeah.
yeah, very much so. And you realize that the innermost layers are about keeping her calm, keeping her focused, and allowing herself to have the epic amount of concentration that she is currently exhibiting as she goes head to head with a being that almost defies age. And you fall through these layers into suddenly an empty void. And inside this void, you hear Eclipse?
Renata!
Uh-oh.
Are you using the badge? I
No.
can't hear the others.
We are in the room with the rift, and I was doing this to contact you. I was using the tech.
Oh, thank God! Oh, thank God! Okay.
We have him almost gone. The rift is only a tiny mote. I was wondering if you can channel some power to close that rift.
Oh.
Oh no!
Bye-bye. We won the campaign. Everything's fine. Everyone's
Renata.
Simon keeps
fine.
doing this for dramatic tension. It's like,
Yeah.
it's too much.
Renata just goes, I don't want you in my head.
We're all dead.
Okay. And she goes, "You're there. You're at the rift. You're in the room with my projection."
Yes.
And you can't see her. You can't see the expressions, but this is. I'm obviously Simon's emoting to be able to make the voice. Okay. Do you still have access to Farewell? Is he there?
I have access to Cora, who has access to Farewell.
Okay. A question for another time, I guess. Has he started closing the rift yet?
Yes.
Excellent. Okay. Okay.
There's only a moat left.
Yes, but that doesn't tell me much. Which body stood up?
The elf, the guard, and one of the mages.
Okay. Okay. Good. And okay. Is Beatber alive?
Yes,
Okay.
We
good.
hope.
we think.
What? Okay. Sorry. He's so strong. What's Glory wearing?
She's wearing a black dress, which has, with a shawl. Is that what you're?
Nope.
No,
Okay.
what?
He has a cape.
Cape. Yes, cape, not shawl. Cape.
Okay. Is Aiden with you?
Yes.
Is he married?
No.
What?
Okay.
The fuck?
I've got it. Okay. Right.
Excuse me?
Excuse me?
Excuse me?
Got it. Tell Farewell.
He had 3 days
I'm
away. We don't know.
I'm currently manipulating fate. As he would understand it. There's something he can do with the knife. He's done it with you before. I felt it. He's split your fate and chosen which one. Don't get him to open a rift onto the rift. That'll open it further. Get him instead to slash at the rift and change its fate. I'll be waiting, and I'll choose the fate.
Right. Okay. With my mental link, I still have to Cora. I tell her all of this.
Okay, as you receive it, Cora, you get a laughter from a tavern, a sudden moan that you don't know where you don't want to know where it comes from, the clapping, and a bard going, thank you, a no, I can make the puppy better, and as suddenly this message flies up through all the layers, dragging audio with it. And it hits you, and you get the full download of what Renata has just said to Eclipse.
Does she take psychic damage from that? Because that's a lot to go
No,
through.
but it wasn't a pleasant experience because it all happened at the same time.
Ah, whoa. Oh, yeah.
Tell Farewell.
Farewell. Slash at the rift. Change its fate.
And because it amuses me no end, you do hear in the back of your mind, now the sound's gone all weird.
Oh dear.
I
Absolutely
think really hard to that voice going, you could just be here and help. Like it's slightly sort of like no.
But it wouldn't be fun.
Okay.
So I think to Cora specifically, tell him to not slash it directly, but to slash and change its fate like he would one of us.
Bear in mind,
Also,
you
who
guys
is
don't know
playing
he
with
does
their
this.
mind?
Yeah,
Yeah, none of you know I do this.
Sorry, I knocked my mic.
It's okay, don't worry, we'll
you
hear it. It's
just
fine.
you just kind of see me do something, and suddenly you can now do more powerful things.
Right, yeah, no,
Far as
I'm
you're
gonna
concerned,
literally
that's
just
just
hear
magic.
that, turn to Farewell and go, wait, you change your fate? What? What?
Don't look at me like that.
Every time he is slashed and giving you guys a finesse point, he is slashed fate in two and picked which one he wants.
Yep.
The thing is that when he picks which one he wants, when that fate snaps into place, he didn't slash. So you guys have never seen him do this.
So, by the way, because I'm basically just a bystander in all of this, I'm just staring at the general direction of Eclipse, Core, and Farewell with the most intense look, like my eyes are gonna pop out of my fucking skull.
Yeah, because at the moment, psychic kind of jiggery pokery is going on with Eclipse. She's not showing any lights or anything like that, but she's got like 1,000-yard stare, and then Cora has just gone, huh? Ooh, and then relayed the message.
Yeah, so I'm like, the fuck?
We're weirdly connected to I don't know what. She's delved into something really deep in there. Farewell, you have to not stab at the rift, but slash at it like you do with us, or something about fate.
No. Now, if I was,
I just
Hey, we can
interrupt
talk
Farewell.
about this later.
I just interrupt Farewell and I say, slash the fucking rift!
No. I don't use the knife like that. That's not how I.
Fine. Wait.
How
okay,
this works.
there was something else. Something about puppies. Something about a cute puppy. Does that make sense? just
This made sense for the last 4 fucking days.
I don't know. I'm getting weird shit coming through from Eclipse. I don't know what she's done in there, but there's something.
Aiden, why is the bodyguard drawing his sword?
Oh, mother.
Yeah.
Fucker.
Glory, the hot girl is drawing an arrow and pointing it straight at Farewell.
Farewell, do it! And I shout physically this time.
I won't.
Farewell, do.
You, unfortunately, Eclipse, you are just staring into space right now. You have fallen through several layers of a very powerful defense. You are just staring into the middle distance.
Yeah. By the way, I did cast Dispel Magic again on that rift.
Question. After that.
Hang on, Nick. I'm going to give you that spell slot back.
Okay.
It doesn't work on the bead.
Motherfucker.
Question.
Fine.
Does Farewell need to see the rift to change its fate?
Yes, I have to see you.
Sadness.
Yeah, I have to.
Okay, and we don't know that, right.
I'm not gonna slash the rift, Simon.
The mage has turned to you and he goes, "What am I doing? What am I doing?" And he's starting to cast a spell in your direction, Farewell.
Okay.
I counterspell.
You counter immediately what was a hold person spell.
I
Do it!
also
So I did the
on top of
counterspell?
that,
Okay.
Yeah.
on top of that, I'm gonna feel really bad on this, but I'm gonna use Blood Curse of the Eye List on the Huntress, so she gets disadvantage.
Sure.
So I just quickly nip my palm to get some blood out, right? And I just use that on her.
As she lets loose of, as she's just about to let loose of the arrow, you just watch as these black tears just drip down her face, and she goes,
I'm sorry. I'm
and
sorry.
The arrow just dashes off into. It goes past Farewell, maybe like about 6 inches from his head. This arrow just whizzes past your head, and she goes, "I can't stop myself."
I'm sorry.
She's this, as I say, this beautiful wood elf huntress, but her eyes are just dripping with these tar-like tears at the moment.
I should have said
the guy
this
with
earlier,
the sword is
but
still coming forward as well.
I should have said this earlier, but I'm going to amplify the curse, so she gets disadvantage on her next attack as well. So just give me a moment while I take damage.
Who
That's
was
fine.
the other person
Since
moving?
this guy is trying to walk towards us, I would like to use Familiar Fear. familiar sphere.
Okay. You put your hand out. Your
I'm
familiar
shaking.
wraps around your hand, and you hear the familiar go, "I've got this, mistress."
Thank you.
And this guard who's walking forward goes, I can't. And then this bright light, like a fucking torch beam, as the eyes of this mini shadow dragon flare up, and the guy just stares at the dragon, and he's just fixed in place.
Farewell. If you're gonna do something, I suggest doing it now.
I'm gonna do something else. Just everyone keeps doing things around me. These things take anyway. And I bring the knife up to my face and go and just look at it and go, "That's not how this works. I just want to do it, and I will try and tear the fate as I normally would do, but I focus on the dot, see if I can remove it."
Yep. You realise it's not a slash. I think I'm right in saying that you just hold the knife up and focus on the point.
Whatever I wanted to, and the way it's written is the person.
Yeah, and you watch as Farewell holds the knife in front of him, and you line it up so that you can see the bead either side of the blade, and all it takes, Farewell, is just for you just to move the hand like that, and suddenly you can see in the reflection of the blade, of this black glass blade, you can see the bead with regular sight, and in the mirror image in the blade, you can see the same stretch of wall, but the bead isn't there. You focus on it, and you start to change fate. For the rest of you guys, because you have witnessed this strange, as I say, Rubik's Cube with your eyes, kaleidoscope effect, you actually feel what Aiden's doing. And you feel like the whole world is shifting around.
Aiden.
Farewell.
Sorry, Farewell.
I'm not going to take credit for this.
You can see,
Not sure I want to.
as Farewell does this, the whole world starts to just move very slightly around you, just like everything is moving almost imperceptibly. And as you do so, you hear, "No! No!" There's a flare from this bead, and the three bodies fall to the floor. Back to being dead again. And as Farewell turns the knife, the rift was never there. All the bodies disappear, apart from one, and that is the small babe that Aiden saw previously on the floor. When you last saw, it was being clutched by the mother. And instead of being in her spectral form, Renata Green has just stood in the middle of this observatory with her hands clasped neatly in front of her. Very much the prim and proper noblewoman. You guys are still on a floating carpet, by the way.
We're about 20 feet off the floor as well.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah. Why
We're
would you
still
leave
in
the
her
carpet?
mind.
No, you're not, because when Farewell changed the present, because that's what you do when you change fate. When he changed the present, Eclipse, you blink, and you remember being in her mind. All of you remember what it was previously, but you also remember that it wasn't.
Yeah.
It's the strange effect that it has on your memory. And you, Eclipse, are now out of Renata's mind because in this reality, her defenses were up. And yeah, you just switched off this weird attack. You've made it so that the rift just isn't in this reality.
Wait. How the fuck am am I supposed to take credit for fixing this with my family now?
I'll write you a nice
Ugh.
letter. My penmanship's very good.
With
I
0 effort, Renata floats the 20 foot up to be on the same level as you.
I immediately start chugging that infinite boost flask as hard as I can, as deep as it will go. And when I'm done, I'm throwing it away, and I go, "Okay, this is a sign that I need to quit."
Renata turns to you and says, "We have much to discuss."
Boy, do we!
You have vanquished a great evil, temporarily. Unfortunately, the unraveling of events will still be something that it can manipulate. It has had a taste of many things now. Our world, the passing of time, the changing of fate. It will continue thrashing about in the abyss until it can find some way of touching us. But you did it. All of you together. And she gestures to the now screaming baby on the floor, and the baby levitates up
No,
into her.
I would have
Is
picked
this-
the kid up. I'm
is this
sorry,
Miss
farewells.
Branding
You're
now?
20 foot in the air, dude. You're 20 foot
Oh
in the
yeah,
air. Unless
sorry,
you came down.
I thought you meant it was on the carpet.
No,
Apologies.
it's
I
the
missed
baby.
on the
The baby is on the marble floor. She gestures very gently, and the baby levitates to her arm,
this-
and she just crooks her arm, and the baby just nestles neatly into her arm, and she's carrying as any parent would, and she says, "One survived. Just one. Those other bodies were extensions of the architect. We could not allow for them to remain. The souls were long gone. We simply removed, as the architect would put it, the clay."
We? Who? Who are
Yeah,
we?
We. And she gestures to you all.
We did remove
Renata, my
animals.
dear. I think you've been leaving things out, haven't you?
Always.
You can
I needed
change
you
now.
to be who you are. I needed
Oh,
you,
dear.
Glory, to be the type of person who would step up and sass a being as ancient and as powerful as the architect. I needed you, Cora, to be the type of person who would be able to judge and feel that no matter how small you were, that you were able to judge even the greatest amongst us. Aiden, I needed you to, well, frankly, care. You were ready to prevent Farewell from being killed. And Eclipse.
I'm really sorry.
Apparently a cat can look at a king, but can also get into the throne room. I will redouble my efforts to make sure all my doors are locked in future.
I really didn't mean to. I'm really sorry.
And farewell.
What did you see?
It
No,
needed to
thank
be
you.
you. It needed to be you. This isn't over, but we can at least enjoy a certain amount of respite. I'm sure that the Duke will want to reward you in some way, and I believe I owe you quite a bit of explanation.
Yes.
You
Wait,
do.
does that mean others will remember it? Even though we were in here?
They will remember the time the demons came. They will remember how they defeated them. They remember the fact that it was who they were that mattered, not who they followed, which god they prayed to, but that they were the ones who were able to harness their own fate and change it. That is it not the greatest power? To take control of one's own existence.
You knew
Yes.
you knew this was coming a long time ago. You knew you needed us.
Yes, I did.
What I'd like to know is how come you know such an ancient art? After all, it's forbidden, isn't it?
I don't so much know it as had it placed upon me.
My dearest, we just fought off an entity who claimed to be created by the gods, and you're wielding a power forbidden.
Forbidden to learn it, to practice it, to teach it. Out of that list, I think I've only done one of the 3 today. I was never taught it. I have never and will never teach it to another. It was bestowed upon me, and I've been able to do it since birth.
No wonder you're one of the most powerful people in Nostical. That is quite the loophole abuse you're doing right now.
Imagine that you
He's
were
got a
born
point.
a blood hunter, and that blood hunters were illegal.
I didn't
How-
mean it as an insult. Just saying.
I would say, rather than loophole abuse, I just am a loophole. That is what I am. I was born a
Anyway, shall we
loophole, and I
continue?
shall remain.
Shall we continue this conversation in the next episode?
We're trying to round off.
Eclipse
I-
says as she stares into the camera.
I shall,
yeah.
Yes.
I shall have to unravel my puzzle box, but when we return, I think Beatbur should be about there, and points at some steps. Try not to shock him when we appear. And she
Oh, dearie, I'm always shocking.
relaxes and floats back down to the floor. She takes a look at the babe that's wrapped up, and covers the babe, but now not crying, just kind of sleeping. And she puts a hand on it and has a very sorrowful look on her face. Let's go. And as she walks forward, you can see that the walls start to flicker. And you realize, Farewell, and anybody else who is trained in history, I think that's only a Farewell. Yeah?
Probably, yeah.
Isn't it-
Yeah. Only Farewell, then. You realize that the walls, when I said there was something off about them when you were coming into this place, sections of the wall are different ages. And it's only now they're popping back into place that this very old building, one section of wall would be like 50 years old, the next 10 years old, the next one a few minutes, the next one is, from like 20 years in the future. You can see there's extra scratches and things, some different levels of polish, different levels of luster, things that weren't important before, they're important now. As Renata Green, the last chronomancer, returns this place back to the present state. And with that, we'll finish the session, and we will pick up next week.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.
And
Good
we'll
night,
see you next
everyone.
Bye, everybody. See you next week.